Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
It is the Thrivetime show. Let your boo begin. Where we drop knowledge bombs for you in Portland. Teaching the proven systems to make your ends. So you can produce the greenery like all the Oregon. Soup will call you Franklin cause you got Benjamins. We'll call you Ben Pearl cause you just bought a Benz. And then you'll be bragging to your wife and kids that your wallet's overweight but it used to be thin. Thumbs away, this is Clay broadcasting with the Zen, with the focus locked in like San Quentin. Can I get a B to the O, O to the M? You've heard the rumors, he is I and I is him. He be the Z and I be the C. Now it's teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of the show is to help you soar. Thrive Nation. Guess who's back in the house? Guess who's back in the studio? It is the man, the myth. It is the Z who's next to me. Dr. Zellner's back.
Oh, it feels so good to be back. I missed you guys. I really did. I missed you guys. And next time I go traveling, I need to do a little call-in section or something.
You
I need
do,
to call in,
yeah.
just give you an update what my day's doing, so you can be really jelly about it. You know, I mean,
No, you could do that.
Yeah, I'm stuck down here on the beach in St. Bart's. And sand's everywhere.
Hey, let's do. I've got it set up now. I got the new phone system set up, the new Clarity voice system.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that? You just call whenever you're out of town.
Yeah, let's do that.
You just call in, and then we'll just do the show.
Why wouldn't we?
Well, because we're selfish. We obviously do not care about the listeners. You're out there on the beach having fun, enjoying your time freedom.
Yes.
But we need to be more selfless, and we need to share that beach view on an audio-only platform.
Absolutely. Yeah,
That's what we're going to do.
I'll describe it in detail, and you'll be like, oh, it's just
It's
like
so
we're
majestic.
there.
Sand.
The sand and the
I see refrigerators. I see refrigerators next to
and the water's
bus.
so wet.
I see
Clay, you're in Manford.
Oh,
Clay,
you're nice. All right,
Keystone Lake.
I see a brown lake with floaties. Appears to be all right, so we're talking today about waging war on the phrase "I did my best." Over delivery, and you will eventually be overpaid. Over deliver, and you will eventually be overpaid. Now, this is something that this entire show today has a potential to come across as very judgmental, very negative.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
Very intense.
Are you coming out? You're coming in hot. Are you coming in hot?
Because I've recently discovered that this is something. This is why I can have a conversation with you, Z, and with you, Chup, and with you, Paul, and I can have it with a frictionless conversation for the foreseeable future. And this is where Scott, he shadowed me today. I think he saw that. But like for Elephant in the Room, we have very clear numbers, okay, for what's expected from each manager and then the people underneath them and all the people. And when they hit the numbers, everything works. There's great people. There's a great profit. There's a great product.
And you're happy?
Yeah. But in order to hit those numbers every week, at least once, I would say, and this is for my companies, at least once a week, I have to freak out at least once about something. You know, and it could be taking out the trash or calling leads. Now, the businesses are scalable and there's all time freedom and all that. But what happens is that there's certain people, and I'm going to call them giraffes. Now, if you're a giraffe out there, let me describe you. This is how I would describe Dr. Zellner. You see the clouds. You see the sky, you eat foliage, you have a bigger vision. You can see into the future. You can see what life could become. You can see the mountains. You can see the landscape.
You're right. I am low carb diet right now, so I'd be doing a lot of foliage.
You can see into the future. You can see. You're a vision guy.
Wow.
If you're a turtle, you see insects, you see bugs, you see giraffe poop, you see the things that you see, and both are true from your perspective. But in order to be successful, you have to leave behind your turtle perspective. And so I'm going to list off some of the things that turtles focus on, and I'd like for Z to help cure one of the listeners and Paul Hood to help cure one of the listeners.
Okay, here we go.
So here we go. And Chuck, I'd like you to list some of these things that turtles focus on. Turtles tend to focus on how they feel 90% of the day. So instead of saying, I did get something done or I didn't, they would tell you how they feel. Or how about how you're making them feel? Or they would focus on the tone of your voice when you follow up. They focus on feelings as opposed to results. Talk to me about why the giraffes focus on results, Z, and the turtles focus on feelings.
Well, I think that's a mistake a lot of people do in business is that they're going around worried about how everybody else is feeling because that's how they think. That's how they process things,
Right.
And so instead of making the hard decisions for your business, instead of putting everything that filter of what's best for the business, I know I may step on a toe, I know I may upset somebody, but you know what? That doesn't matter. What matters is taking the business and moving it a step down the road. And so I think a lot of people that can separate themselves from their own person and say, listen, here's the hat I'm wearing. And the hat I'm wearing is the CEO, the boss, the whatever you want to call yourself, okay, the owner of the business. And I'm going to make the tough decisions come heck or high water. And if you don't like it, if it doesn't make you feel right, if it doesn't make you feel a certain way, tough cookies.
I just don't feel good about this.
Tough cookies. Soak them in milk is a little bit more. Tough cookies,
I don't want to hold the team accountable because they might feel like they're upset. My tone.
And you know what? And ultimately, if a person can't shake out of that, I mean, it's the old thing that we used to tell all of our employees.
Oh.
Leave your personal stuff at the door.
At the door.
At the door.
Leave it at the door.
In other words, if you can't separate yourself from your entirety of who you are, in other words, I know your kid's sick and then, whatever. I know your plumbing issue at your house is worrying you. I know that your Facebook friend wrote something horrible about you or whatever it is. Whatever it is, but the idea and the ability to separate yourself, Clay, is so important.
Maybe you and I should take a collection of all the horrible things people have said about us via email or Facebook, and we could make that into a book.
Or we could take it out
called Book Your Face.
Or we could take it outside and burn it in your with your pinion wood.
But then we could hang on to it and lament about it.
Oh, that's true.
See, that's what we want to do.
And open it up for anybody that will give us 5 minutes.
Right.
It's kind of like, okay, I could show them a cat video, or I could go through some of the horrible things that have been said about me.
I could just air my grievances.
Yes.
Every Festivus, I would be prepared.
There it is.
Okay, so Paul Hood, this is something I've noticed. Turtles don't want to talk about the numbers. Right. Turtles do not want to talk about the numbers. Now, one of the clients that you coach, you work with, you are obviously an accountant. That's what you do. But you're coaching this client along through some savings that they keep bragging on you would be Delricht Clinical Research there in New Orleans.
Great folks.
They like you. They're diligent doers. They're successful. They're giraffes. They like numbers.
Right.
Turtle business owners don't want to look at the numbers, hate when you bring it up, and are actually offended if you persist to want to get down to the real numbers. Talk to me about the difference in perspective.
Well, the difference in perspective is not just numbers, it's everything. A giraffe is going to be a big picture person that's going to understand that if I create systems and processes that benefit other people, it's going to benefit me. Whereas a turtle is going to be more introverted, is going to be, how does this affect me? I don't care how it affects other people, how does it affect me? And they also, it's more that short-term pain, long-term gain. A giraffe person is willing to invest the effort and the time to change and understand.
Oh.
Yeah, and they understand that what they learn today is going to benefit them in the future. The pain that they push through today is going to benefit them in the future. And how they steer, they want to know where they're at. They want to know their status, whereas a turtle doesn't. They want to get in their little shell and hope for the best.
This is a really negative one, Chup. I'd like for you to talk about this. Now, this isn't fair to turtles because turtles out there, I know we have a lot of. See, do you know
a turtle's a fine animal, by the way?
See, right now, think about this. Think about this right now. It has a nice shell.
It's like the M&M of the animal kingdom.
I'm a turtle. Now, here's the thing. Okay, for all the
they did win the race. So there are some positive.
We haven't
the rabbit and the tortoise. The classic story.
That's a made-up story, Z.
It is.
Let me
to make turtles feel better.
Let me share this idea for a second here. There's a lot of people that miss their opportunities because they just don't show up on time or at all. And so this is what I've noticed about turtles versus not turtles. I'll give you an example. This is Dr. Z. If I asked Dr. Z, I said, Dr. Z, could you come to this party? He is a person who I would call an intentional person. I've noticed that about him. He's a Danny Silk kind of powerful person, but he would say to you, Clay, I like you, but I'm not going to go fishing. Or he would say,
I didn't want to.
Right, but I'm saying if you didn't want to. Or you would say, Clay, there is like a 1% chance I'll be there because I've already committed to something else. Should it cancel, I'll let you know. But you're not going to you're not going to leave people hanging. But if you say you're going to be there, by and large, are you perfect? No. But by and large, I mean, it's very. We're worried about your. We're worried that you're okay if you don't show up.
Correct.
For some people, though, you just know. Like if they do show up, you're almost like,
what?
What?
And it's for every area of their life, though. They just can't seem to get to church on time. They just can't get to the appointment on time. They can't pay their taxes on time. They can't do their mortgage on time. They just can't get to the meeting on time. And Jeff, it's so hard for the turtles.
Well, it's hard for the turtles because they can't see their goals, Clay. They're not tall enough to see where they're going. They're just stuck down there on the ground. And so what I found a lot of time with the turtle mentality is they don't have any type of planning or strategy to their day. So they're just kind of munching along, just going in whatever direction they can see right in front of them, as opposed to a giraffe who will look up, see where their goals are, and they're making sure they're on track and heading in the right direction. On time.
Final turtle trait I want to bring up here as we talk about this, waging this war on this I did my best and learning how to over-deliver. Final trait I see. Turtles are stuck with old dirt on them. They always go back to an old conversation, an old misunderstanding, something that happened 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, 5 years ago. They just can't get the old dirt off.
Well, they have a couple things that are attracted to them, that are on them. One is sometimes a poverty mentality, and then also a victim mentality. And when you have those on you in the turtle mode, you have that victim mentality. You always want to bring out those grievances. We were laughing about it a little bit ago, making a book about it, right?
Right.
But it's what they do, and the problem is they can't get over it. And it's a real big concept. And if you're listening out there, if you've got ears to listen to this, it's a big concept that if you have any unforgiveness, if you've got any of that in your heart, it doesn't affect the person you've got a grievance against.
Let it flow.
It only affects you.
Let it flow.
It just only affects you. And so get over it, forgive them, and move on. I know you were wronged. I know it was a bad situation, but get over it already.
How many times were you?
Get over
how many
it.
times have you been wronged, Zohan?
Oh, I couldn't count.
This year.
I couldn't count.
This year.
I couldn't count. You know what?
This month.
I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to remember.
Today. No, but I think a lot of people, though, want to just get down to that conversation. The people around you want to talk about how you've been wronged. People like gossip.
Right.
It's awesome.
Oh,
gossip is awesome. It's so
really
awesome. Oh, my God.
Don't tell anyone.
Here's Oklahoma gossip. Let me give you the Oklahoma gossip. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, is this Paul?
Yes, it's Paul.
Paul, I was praying about Dr. Z. Did you hear about... That's Oklahoma gossip.
That's Oklahoma gossip.
Now let me go to Boston gossip. Here we go. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, is this freaking Paul?
This is.
Hey, freaking Paul, I got some wicked awesome dirt on Dr. Z. Let me tell you about it. See?
Yeah.
And then that's what, right? Is that not?
Absolutely. That's well done. And that's exactly what it is.
Minnesotan dirt. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, is this Paul?
Yes, sure is.
Paul, don't you know, I was up north and I heard a little something about my man Dr. Z.
Over a hot dish
with Bjorn. We was in the igloo and Leaf told me, and then it's like, but that's what they do.
That's the move.
Elephant in the room. We have cameras up in the stores to maintain quality control at the front desk, and it is so funny. If it ever slows down, Proverbs says that idleness is the devil's workshop. Immediately they're like, oh my gosh, who's playing this playlist?
Yeah.
Christmas music all month. Oh my gosh. And they go right into the gossip thing. And that, Z, let me tell you what. If you want to put your time to better use than gossiping, one thing you could do is you could clean your bathroom with your tongue. You could do that.
That's more useful.
And if you catch someone gossiping, you probably should have them do that.
Yeah, it'd be a way to deal with it quickly now. Or Chup, if you had some time freedom, you could call the folks at Classic Janitorial, and they're going to clean your bathrooms for you, but without using your tongue as a mechanism with which to clean said bathroom. These guys have been the cleaning company of choice for DuPont, for Google, Chup.
Yeah, New Star,
Chup. Tell us about it.
Dr. Z.
Oh.
Total Lending Concepts. Thrivetime Show. Come on. Okay, most companies out there are going to charge you extra to clean those high traffic flooring areas.
Yeah.
Not these guys.
No, they don't.
Typically about $1,000 extra on top of your bill. They're going to include it for free for your first time customers. So get a hold of these guys at theclassicclean.com. Theclassicclean.com. 918-671-2046. 918-671-2046.
Say it again.
Theclassicclean.com.
Say it again.
918-671-2046. Theclassicclean.com.
Bit of math.
3, 2, 1, boom! You are now entering the dojo of Mojo and the Thrivetime Show.
Thrivetime Show on the microphone. What is this? Top of the iTunes charts in the category of business. Drilling down on business topics like we are a dentist. Providing you with mentorship like you are an apprentice. And we go so fast that you might get motion sickness. Grab a pen and pad to the lab. Let's get in this. It's time to bear some fruit like some Florida oranges. 3, 2, 1. Here come the business ninjas.
Sonic boom.
Z, you could think for hours and hours and hours about what rhymes with oranges. You could say, what rhymes with an orange, And you could think about it for hours, and it would require a certain amount of time freedom to sit and ponder what rhymes with
oranges.
Oranges.
Yeah.
And it turns out if you change it to oranges, Now you got a lot to work with there.
Yeah, it opens up. It just really opens up the playbook.
Ninjas, syringes.
I mean, you can do a little shuttle pass. You can do a little slant.
There's a lot of moves there.
Yeah, you could do a down and out.
And we're all about creating time freedom so that you can enjoy what you want to do. And for me, it's coming up with rhyme schemes that I find to be exciting.
You're really taking the intros to a new level.
They're getting better.
You realize you're going into a new level.
There's a guy I'm working with right now. I can't mention his name yet, but he is a pop music guy, and he's very, very successful. And I really do believe he will be singing our hooks soon for our intros. And I think this would be a great way for him, because now we're in the top 5 of iTunes. It makes sense for him to get his name out there to all the listeners out there. So it's a great thing for him, a great thing for us. But we're talking today about the difference between I did my best. We're waging a war on the concept of I did my best, but we didn't get it done. But first, before we get into what you need to do to get it done, I want to really dwell on the fruits of getting things done.
Speaking of oranges.
The fruits.
So, Paul Hood, when you started Hood CPAs, how old were you?
I was 23.
Did people hand you wads of cash, or how did you get started?
I had to work and fight and pillage and sleep in my car for every penny I could scrape together.
It seems like you did a lot of work. Now, Z, when you started your business, Dr. Robert Zellner & Associates, 26 years ago, did people just hand you wads of cash, or were you working 7 days a week?
I wish they did. How would it not have been so much nicer? I would have had to work 7 days a week for a couple of years.
Thrive Nation, tip number 1, by virtue of being born, I was given millions of dollars.
Find someone with a lot of excess cash willing to give it to you.
No, I worked 7 days a week and hustle.
So you worked hard.
Yes, sir.
You've worked hard. Chup,
Absolutely.
you've managed your own construction company, right?
True.
You've done that. So
Yep.
we've all everyone on this show, we've gone through that rise and grind mentality to get where we are and where we're going. Now, Paul, you decided this week you're going to enjoy some of the time freedom and financial freedom, and you decided to join up with a supercar West Coast rally. What was this thing? What did you do?
It's called Corsa Rally, and there's about 70 supercars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLarens, all kinds of stuff. And we drove through
What are these brands? Are these off brands?
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of these on the roads. Lamborghinis.
You don't see too many. You know what's funny, though? What's really funny, and I think we need some Ferrari people to help me understand this, because there was like 40 Lamborghinis, 10 or 15 McLarens, and 1 Ferrari. See, the Ferrari people, what I've been told is they buy their car and they put it in the garage. They don't drive it. I don't understand.
It's not like a daily driven.
Yeah, what's that all about?
I don't know.
So I don't know.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it's the kind of conversation that only giraffes would have. You guys have worked hard to get into a certain worldview because of the results you produce, not because of virtue of where you were born or your heredity. It's the work ethic.
You know what's great?
What's great?
What's great is you know what? I didn't shut my business down when I left. I was gone for a week, and I was out enjoying, had
How's
my
that
top
possible?
down, driving, and business
Closing
kept going.
time.
Yeah.
Owner's gonna go home. No, that's not how a business should work.
No.
Closing time. Dr. Aziz not seeing patients today.
Well, first it starts off as a job,
right.
and then you morph it from a job into a business.
Come on now.
And then whenever you get your systems in place and you get everything really rock and rolling good, then you can go do car rallies.
Yes.
As a kid, I used to love that show. What was that? The race. What was the one where they raced and they
went
raced
across country.
Yeah.
I
Was that
can't
kind of like? Could you guys do that? I mean, that'd been kind of fun to do that.
Smoking Abandoned?
Yeah.
I mean, were you guys kind of racing against each other on those roads? I mean,
Yeah.
you could tell us. I'm not
absolutely.
a federal agent with the highway patrol.
You
or
have to
anything
tell
like
them
that.
if you are.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To just
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Well, absolutely. And I held my own. It was
did
good.
you?
It was fun.
Yeah, did you guys give each other a little skunk eye and eyeball each other as you're going by each
No,
other?
what they did was like there's pictures out there of me getting stopped by the police, and they would drive by and honk and wave and take pictures and put it on Facebook. and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Is
fun.
it kind of like a Dukes of Hazzard faux police department where it's like
No, they were pretty serious. They were real serious.
Did you spend time in jail?
Actually, the reality is they start off serious, and then they start looking at the car and asking questions, and it ends up being a picture setting, and they want to get pictures with the car, and so it was great. It was a good time.
Well, Paul, since you've just completed your bodybuilding, the contest, right? And you got third in one category and second in the other. Congratulations, by the way. Did it help when you got pulled over? Did it help to take off your shirt to kind of show off the new Paul Hood? Did that help you get out?
officer, I just want to.
I mean, because you didn't get any tickets, right? You just got warnings. I was just wondering, did you just
I
have
did
your
not
shirt
ask.
unbuttoned all the way? I mean, did you just kind of lean, kind of like, it's so hot in here? I don't know.
I need someone to help me drive.
Did that help?
I'm pretty sure that was not a.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's a move.
I hope that was not a
Is that a
factor, no.
move?
I wasn't there. I don't know.
Do we have any proof this was not a move? He's using his body.
I use whatever I got.
He just signs the warning with his phone number and a smiley face.
So here are the first of the principles that we need to begin to live by if we want to get to that giraffe level. If we want to get to the top of the mountain, if we want to have some success, here's concept number 1. You must over-deliver, and you will eventually be overpaid. Napoleon Hill, the self-help author, the best-selling self-help author, writes, "Going the extra mile is about delivering more and better service than you think is expected for what you are paid." Whoa.
Wolf.
That's a big change right there. Doing that's a big change. I mean, that's not normal. Z, talk to me about learning how to become a person who over-delivers consistently. When did you first learn that rise and grind mentality of be there 15 minutes early for a meeting, get your stuff done, make your yes, your no, your no, that hardcore belief where you did it or you didn't, where you said, forget the phrase, I did my best. You either did it or you didn't. When did that occur for you?
Right early on. I mean, because I figured out that no one's going to give it to me. No one's going to hand it to me. You know, the other optometrist in town didn't get together and say, hey, you know, here's how we do this. There's enough for everybody. We all get our little slice of the pie. It's
I'll
a big
tell you
pie.
what, man, he's a good guy. We just give him like a quarter of all the business.
It's a
big pie out there.
It reminds me of a joke. Can I tell a joke?
Please.
Get it.
It's really a story. It's a story. Or I'll tell you what, I'll save it for the next segment, okay? Because it's really a fun little story, and I don't want to just rush through it. But I learned that early on, Clay. And the thing about it is that you have to have the mindset of, I'm not going to do my best. I'm going to do whatever it takes.
See, this is the thing.
Switch it.
I just want to share this with somebody in a way that will help coach you up. Is that nobody gives a crap if you're going through a personal crisis as it relates to your business. My wife and I, we've had a miscarriage. My dad's had cancer. My dad died of ALS. My best friend died in a car accident, all of which were not on days of my choosing.
Yep.
And I had to show up. And I see so many people that take 3 months off of their business because they're going through a personal problem. You can't do that. You have to show up. And the hardest part of running a business is just showing up. Day after day, you've got to deliver. And I'll tell you people who deliver, Chup. The guys at Onyx Imaging, those homeboys, Chup, professionally speaking, those homeboys deliver.
They literally deliver. Same and next day office supplies, printer supplies,
nice.
Printer service. They can fix your printer. They'll bring you a loaner. If your printer goes down and the team's just sitting around, get a hold of Onyx Imaging. ONYXimaging.com. Call them today. Send in for a quote, and they're going to give you a free printer cartridge that matches whatever printer you have. Okay? How's it possible? Call 918-627-6611. Get a hold of them today, 918-627-6611, or check them out at onyximaging.com, ONYXimaging.com.
Let me lay some pressure down. I think there's only one availability left. Call right now or never get a deal.
And back to a show that's cooler than the other side of the pillow. It's the Thrivetime Business Coach Show.
It's the Thrivetime Show on your radio. Get it on the broadcast or the podcast down low. We'll teach you the moves to make your business roll. Provide you the fuel to make you want to go. Whether you're a startup or a big-time baller, we'll teach you the systems to increase your dollars. Google optimize, sales multiplies. We cite it all so we never lies. Pitch yourself, it's a truth, not a fable. My name is Clark, but I ain't Clark Gable. Next to me, it's Z, he owns Staples. And you can too if you unplug the cable. Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio, where today we're talking about the difference between turtles and giraffes. And you might say, what's the difference? This is something that I want everyone to get, and then I'm going to turn the mic over with plenty of time for Dr. Z to share the super story. I was invited by Clifton Talbert to go to Southern Hills for the first time. Now, for those of you who don't know what Southern Hills is a country club in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Z, how would you describe it? It's like a top 50 course in America, top 100.
Yeah, they've had PGA tournaments there. I mean, it's a real deal.
It's a real deal. And
it's
so
swanky.
Clifton invited me to go with him to lunch. Now, this is when I was still picking my wife up from your office with the subwoofers.
Were you still in thug mode?
I was in thug mode.
Oh, no.
So Clifton asks me to go. So I thought, okay, I'll go, you know. So true story. First off, I meet him at his office. And it's Clifton Talbert, just, you know, he's the first African-American west of the Mississippi to launch a bank. His life was made into a movie, Once Upon a Time When We Were Colored. And he's a great guy. Now, Clifton points out, he says, we're going to go to Southern Hills. Do you have a coat? And I brought a coat because I remember him saying that his assistant told me to bring a coat. So we go out to lunch. Now, I've never been in a Mercedes. Hit a Mercedes SUV. I've never been in the Mercedes ever in my life. Furthermore, I've never been to Southern Hills. So he pulls up to the gate, and the gate guy, there's a guy there, at the gate.
Oh, yeah, security
who's
guard.
like, Mr. Talbert, thank you. And he says, yeah, it's me and a guest. Okay, great. What's his name, sir? He gives him his name, opens up. Boop. I've never seen a gate open. We drive back. I'm like, this is crazy.
This is so cool.
Seriously, somewhere over the
You know why they added that guard at the front gate?
Me?
No, you know why?
Why?
There was a famous murder there.
Really?
Yeah, an assassination. And it was in several movies. It's who's the guy's name?
J. Paul Getty?
Roger
Staubach.
Google it.
Roger Craig, running back for the 49ers.
No, and they just did a what was the name of the show that
Buck Rogers.
No, the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean was on it.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp was the bad guy. They had him kind of looking old.
Whitey Bulger.
Yeah, Whitey Bulger.
Oh, there we go.
But it was like Black Christmas. What was the name of the movie?
Black Mass.
Black Mass.
Black Mass. Wow.
Well, he's the guy that supposedly came into Tulsa and whacked him there at Southern Hills.
Whacked him.
And so then they put that security guard there. So it wasn't because of you.
It was Roger Wheeler.
Roger Wheeler.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, famous. So there we go.
So
we're on the map now.
I'm weaving up I'm riding with Clifton up in his SUV. Never been in an SUV Mercedes. Never been to Southern Hills. I get there, and a guy opens the door for me, and he says, "Sir, do you mind if I take your coat?" And I'm thinking, why the freak do you want to take my coat? The guy seriously was a little bit like pissed. I mean, he was like, "Can I take your coat?" He probably said, "Send me, I take your coat."
Did you take a swing at him?
No, but I mean, seriously, I was like a little bit, the way he said it, I guess I was like, why does he, because he insisted. He's like, no, sure, I insist. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I take the coat, I go to the bathroom, and there's a dude there who keeps offering me like grooming supplies. And I'm like, what is this guy, a spotter? What does he do? I mean, I don't know. Is he like my bathroom consultant here? Is he like, make sure you aim here, buddy? I mean, I don't know what he's doing. He's standing next to me in the bathroom.
He's an encourager. You can do it. You can do it.
I don't have a prostate problem or anything. I'm just like, why is he here? Then he like offers me soap and towel and mint, and he puts his hand up for a tip, and I'm like, crap. No wonder you guys have to be rich. You're tipping the guy in the bathroom, you know?
Yeah, you had a good tip for him. You're like, don't eat yellow snow. That's all I got. I'm out of here.
So I sit down for the meal, and there's all these forks. There's like forks over here, forks over there. Then Clifton's like, use the forks on the outside, work your way into the middle. I'm going, okay.
Okay.
And there was like a buffet going on or something, and I don't know. I'm used to like Luby's, where the goal is to get as much down as possible. You don't want the buffet to win. No, you want to beat the buffet.
No, yeah, you got to beat the man.
And Clifton points out something like, he's like, they actually aren't running out of food on the planet Earth. And I remember like, what? And he's like, you don't have to eat it all. And I'm like, huh? He's like, you don't have to eat it all. And I said, well, it blew my mind hanging around an eagle. So what I'm trying to do is give the Thrivers the look into the mindset of an eagle, of a giraffe, of somebody that looks up as somebody who's been to the top of the mountain. And not just, I'm not trying to give you a bus station worldview of humanity. We're trying to teach you things that you can do to get to the top and a little glimpse of what it looks like when you get there. And so, you had a fun story you want to share. Then I want to give you enough time and space and breadth to share this incredible story. You can one up me. I had a story, but your joke will be better. Your jokes always hit.
Well, it's a farmyard joke. You know me. I love my farmyard jokes. So we're gonna go back to the farm, and every morning there was 3 pastures, and the 3 bulls that ran each pasture would meet down at the little point where they all kind of converged, and they said, I've heard a rumor that the farmer's getting a new bull.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. And there's like, well, they all get indignant. They're all like, well, I'm not going to share any of my cows with him. I mean, the biggest of the bulls says, I got like 300. I'm not going to give him any of my cows. And the middle-sized bull says, well, I've only got about 200. I mean, he's not getting any of mine. And the smallest bull says, well, I've only got about 100 cows, and he's not getting any of mine either. About that time, here comes the farmer pulls up a trailer, and it's just shaking, just shaking. And he walks in the back, and there's a catch pen right there where the 3 bulls are kind of close by. They're looking, And he kicks open the back gate and out roars this huge bull, just kicking and snorting and looking around and throwing a fit. And the 3 bulls go, well, he doesn't look like such a bad guy. I think the bigger bull says, I think I'm gonna rethink this. I think I'll share some of my cows with him. The middle bull says, you know what? He does look like a really cool dude. I think I'm going to share some of mine with him. And they look at the little guy, and he's snorting and throwing his head and paw on the ground. They're like, dude, what are you doing? He's going to kill you. He goes, I just want to make sure he knows I'm a bull. The point of the story is I have no idea why that story popped into my mind. I'm thinking about over-delivering.
No, it doesn't matter why.
I think about over-delivering right there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the purpose of working hard. And That was just a little break. That was just a little afternoon break for you. You're welcome.
No, hey,
You're welcome.
Hey, I think that ties in great, Dr. Z. I mean, people with turtles, and I think the really thing that distinguishes turtles and giraffes, or the little bull and the big bull, is fear. People are they're too afraid to do what they need to do. That little bull, he may have been afraid, but
he knew it. He knew what he
had to do. He
right,
wasn't
exactly.
messing around.
There you go. Paul completely redeemed my story. Thank you, Paul.
Oh, there it is.
There you
he
go.
brought it back with a moral.
CPA of the
very
world
1990s
right
sitcom of you to bring it in with a good moral there. Now next we're going to talk about the power of the mastermind, and I want to get Marshall Morris's take on this, because you might be listening right now to this next notable quotable, and you might be thinking, well, that's not helpful at all. But take the quote, listen to the quote, see if you can apply it. You are the average of the 5 people you most associate with. You might be thinking to yourself, I'm associating with a bunch of idiots right now. How am I ever going to be able to associate with good people? And that's where I want to start when we come back from the break. Maybe you're associating with people that are perpetually dysfunctional, and they are shaping what you deem to be normal. Maybe you're associating with people that don't file their taxes on time. Paul Hood with Hood CPAs, before somebody comes in to see you about their accounting and setting up their savings and setting up their tax preparation, honestly, no exaggeration, what percentage of business owners have their finances together previous to meeting with you?
Less than 2%, if that.
And how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for, since I was 23. I'm 50, so 27 years.
And where do they typically get it wrong the most?
Where they get it wrong is a lot of times actually it's who they're working with. You think a lot of CPAs or accountants actually work for the IRS, and they're real reactive. And at hoodcpas.com, we're very proactive. We look forward. We help you learn how to use your numbers to steer your business.
Now, if you want to be proactive about your accounting, reach out to hoodcpas.com today. That's hoodcpas.com. And he's going to give you 1 hour of his teammates' time, as well as 1 copy of Warren Buffett's only authorized biography, a book by the name of Snowball. Stay tuned.
Want to attend the legendary Thrivetime Show Business Workshop for free? Subscribe on iTunes, leave an objective review, and send us confirmation at info@thrivetimeshow.com to claim your tickets. Want to live in a van down by the river? Come by and see us at our Riverwalk offices, and we'll be able to make your dreams come true.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, and I am honored to introduce our next guest. This is Marshall Morris, the co-author of the Amazon best-selling book, Start Here. He's a guy that's been in my life for 9 years. And it's fun with Marshall, having him on the show, because Marshall is doing with his career right now what I wish I would have done with my career if I could go back and do it all over again. I wish I was right now. I wish I was where he is now at that age. Because the DJ business, although I'm thankful that it provided for my family, I literally DJ'd every single weekend, every single Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday, every major holiday, including Christmas Eve. I did a wedding on Christmas Eve for no fewer than 7 consecutive years.
You were really good, by the way.
The last year before Vanessa told me, she says, hey, I think it's time to sell the company. I had done that particular year. I did over 250 events. And I loved the DJing, but the thing that I loved was antagonistic towards the person I loved. It's like not possible to, because every show, people didn't say, hey, do you want to have a party on a Tuesday at the afternoon? We'll be done by 5. Everyone says, hey, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and everyone's having a birthday. It's always after hours, and that's when your kids are home with you, and so it was a weird deal. Now, Marshall has chosen the path to become a business coach and an author. And what's kind of fun, Marshall, is you've met Lee Cockrell, the former executive vice president of Walt Disney World Resorts. You've got a chance to meet Dr. Zellner. Mm-hmm. You've got a chance.
I'm right here.
Yep. But I mean, you've got
nice
a chance
to meet you.
All right, nice. Darn glad to know you, Marshall.
I love what's going on over here. But you guys, you had a chance to meet a lot of giraffes, a lot of successful people,
Yes.
a lot of people from at the top of the mountain at a young age. So what advice would you have for somebody out there listening, regardless of their age, who says, I'm not around? I know that Tim Ferriss is correct with his quote, you are the average of the 5 people you associate with the most. I know that Napoleon Hill's correct, but you want to surround yourself with great people. I know this, but how can I do it? What advice would you give him, Marshall?
Well, here's the thing. This is one of the things that I realized very early on is your limited resource is time. And you have to choose with whom you choose to invest that time with. And so one of the questions that I had for Dr. Z, because I see you do this all the time, okay? There's this quote. It's by Colin Powell, okay? Retired 4-star general. Okay?
Love Colin Powell. Love his quotes.
And this is
hot sauce.
This is what spoke to me.
It's going to be offensive.
Okay.
And it might be offensive.
It's going to be offensive. Colin Powell said it's going to be rough.
Out of it comes a question for Dr. Z here.
Okay.
It says, the less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity.
Can you read it again, please?
Okay.
And I have little sound effects I want to weave in just to make sure we hit it home.
All right, here we go. The less you associate with some people, the more your life
to me.
the more your life will improve.
But I've known them since high school.
Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others,
But they're my friend.
it increases your mediocrity.
But I went to church with them for years.
So this is the question, okay? And I found this very early on in my early 20s that I needed to make this switch and choose who I hang out with. So most of the people my age or the kids that I grew up with.
How old are you right now, you whippersnapper?
I'm 27 now.
Oh,
right?
whoa.
And so while a lot of them are going out on vacations and driving around.
Constant trips.
Constant trips.
Never-ending trips.
Never ending. They never end.
Never focused, always on a trip.
That's right. How do you make that switch to choose, number one, not to associate with some people, okay? And number two, how do you not tolerate mediocrity in others? Is it holding them to a standard, or is it just choosing not to associate with them at all?
I'm going to give you a couple keys to the kingdom.
Come on now.
Keys to the kingdom.
You might want to get a notepad and a pencil. Maybe one of those big chiefs. I love the big chiefs notepads and number 2 pencils.
Is it okay if I get a tablet and a chisel?
You could do a tablet and a chisel, or you could do, a ballpoint pen is always a favorite too.
Okay.
Okay. So number 1, get this concept deep into your marrow and understand this is a truth. And that is, people change seldom.
See, I hate every time you say.
I know, it's
so
offensive.
true. And I tried for so long to teach DJs how to be good people. I tried to fix cousins, uncles, brothers-in-laws, neighbors. I've tried, and every single time, not a single one of them has ever changed. Ever. Never.
Because people change seldom.
Oh.
Now, I've seen a remarkable change in you, Clay. And I have seen some people have remarkable changes.
But they had to change themselves.
They had to do it. I mean, I could have sat there with a ball-peen hammer hitting on you all day long, and you wouldn't have changed.
But that's why for the Thrivers out there, I always tell the Thrivers, listen, your coach, your coaching, your teacher will appear when the student's ready. That's why we have a program that's like for 1 out of 10,000.
There you go.
I mean, if you're going to call and say, hey, how do I optimize my website, and then argue with somebody when they tell you how, if you're going to say, hey, how do I fix my accounting, and you're going to argue with them when they say how, that's not, you probably shouldn't call Hood CPAs for a meeting, or you probably shouldn't call the Thrivetime show. I mean, see, people change seldom until they want to.
Correct. Now, here's the key to that. So as you look through your Rolodex of friends that you have currently, because we all have a Rolodex of friends. You know your top 5, your top 10, top 20, someone that can get a hold of you, someone that could get you lunch, someone that get you dinner, someone that can, hey, you got a minute, and you'd say yes. I mean, there's the category of guys who are in that category, right? Mm-hmm. And you can rate them. You can think about, okay, who is the best influence on me and why? Who is the second best? Who's third best, fourth best? I mean, just like you should do with employees. Oh, by the way, if you own a company, you should always know who your number 1 draft pick is on down this player was undrafted, person,
Right.
And so, so what happens there is that you look at those and you say, okay, I want to start spending more time with the ones at the top of my list and less time with the ones at the bottom of my list.
Come on now.
And as you spend less time with the ones at the bottom of your list, they will kind of work their way off your list. Okay?
What if they're related?
You know what? It's the same thing. Okay, so you got Thanksgiving. All right, can you suffer through a couple hours of turkey and passing mashed potatoes?
I suppose I can.
I mean, can you? I mean, can you shoot off a few fireworks on 4th of July and grind the ice cream and have that and then get out of there? I mean, yeah, there are those family occasions that you will have to interact with those people. Well, that doesn't mean that they're in your daily life. That doesn't mean they're in your inner core.
The suckle.
the circle of life. And so what happens there is, I would encourage everybody out there to weed the idiots out. I know it's a strong word.
I know, but it's a real word. It's a word.
It is a real word.
You know, the thing about this real word is the real word has meaning. So let's look it up and just see if you are in fact correct. This says a stupid person.
Yes.
Or a moron, an imbecile, a simpleton, an ignoramus. This is how I would define it. It's somebody who's upset with the way that life works and refuses to change. This is what I would consider an idiot. It's somebody who's just irate. Paul, I know you've never had this, but you grew up without money.
Right.
So you grew up in a family where there wasn't any precedent for somebody having success, I don't think, right?
None.
And so I'm sure that the majority of people in your family have risen up from growing up poor to be successful. Everybody has decided to change and make the lifestyle changes and the habit changes and carrying a day timer, having a to-do list, being organized. I'm sure all of them have decided to make that change, right?
That's not true. The ones that are associated, and this is not to sound conceited, but my kids, the ones that have seen the example that I've created, the example of not making an excuse, because people are where they're at because of the choices they make. Oof. And a lot of times it's real simple to make that easy choice and not to push through. And they're all on both sides of my family. They just think I'm lucky or I'm a drug dealer or something. I'm not sure what they think, but they are all, both sides, still making excuses as to why they can't do what I do or what. But I have zero doubt that I can take anybody with desire and show them how to be a millionaire. All they got to do is go to hoodcpas.com, hoodcpas.com. Let's sit down, let's talk. And I'll prove you wrong if you think you can't be.
So you absolutely believe you can help anybody out there. But Marshall, there's somebody out there who's going, okay, Marshall, how did you get to Thrive? You're 27. How did this happen? What did you do?
Well, there are a couple things. One, you recruited me for about 7 years. Okay.
Now that is so
offensive.
That's one of the things.
And true.
But then I also identified very specifically where I wanted to go with my goals and what position, what environment would allow me to achieve those goals. So it started, number one, with identifying what my goals and what my dreams are, with the different milestones that I wanted to hit. And then number two is surrounding myself with those people that could help me get there. And so you can, I don't believe that necessarily for everybody, cool cars is the end all be all.
Right.
But if you're going to surround yourself with people, I mean, the fact that they drive pretty cool cars is a nice little bonus.
You know, a goal that I had this year, Z, was to eliminate all the bugs outside of the Man Cave Studios. I want to eliminate all the bugs. I want to kill the mosquitoes and the mojitos. I wanted to kill the insects that were, just sucking away my joy. I wanted to kill the bees that were on my knees, the snakes by the lakes. See, I wanted to remove all the insects. And so I reached out to our good friends at Platinum Pest and Lawn. Marshall, what's their website? What's their phone number?
Their website is platinum-pestcontrol.com, platinum-pestcontrol.com, and their website or their phone number is 918-376-0857, 918-376-0857.
One more time. I love that number.
918-376-0857.
Stay tuned.
Attend the world's best business workshop led by America's #1 business coach for free by subscribing on iTunes and leaving us an objective review. Claim your tickets by emailing us proof that you did it and your contact information to info@thrivetimeshow.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrive Time Show on your radio. Now, Z, we're talking today about the difference between giraffes and turtles.
We'll recap that just a little bit because someone may just be tuning in. They've been at lunch. They're driving back to the office.
Well, maybe on tomorrow's show they'll talk about the difference between cats and dogs.
Maybe.
This is a great show. I love it. Here's what I'm getting at. This is what I'm getting at. Whenever I travel, I was out at St. Pete Beach, Florida. There with my wife, we traveled. I always get up. I'm the first person up at the beach every time. See, have you ever done that before? Have you ever tried that move?
Which one?
Were you the first one at the beach?
I've thought about it.
Well, let me just walk you into.
In theory, it sounds fun. I don't think I've ever been the first one at the beach.
Well, I've been
the last one to be on the beach at night.
I know you have been. Well, here's the deal. I got up at the beach by doing my normal meta time. I did it at St. Pete Beach, so I got up at 4, but I'm on the beach at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
When I'm on the beach at 4, there's nobody else there except for one man.
And someone beat you to
And
it.
I want to get this guy's permission before I tell the whole story. But long story short, he's a very successful entrepreneur. And so I'm reading a book. He's doing his stuff, and neither one of us interrupt each other. But when we're wrapping up, everybody else, about 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:30, everybody comes out there. But it's like you have the whole beach to yourself, but it's still light at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7. It's pretty cool. And so he says, "What do you do?" And I'm thinking to myself, I know what this guy does. He owns a business of some kind, because I know that people either who stay up late and plan their day or get up early and plan their day are entrepreneurs. It's just not normal for people to actually be proactive about planning their day. And I watch him going through and this guy's in his probably late 50s, and we start talking. He's from Manhattan. He has a very successful business. He came over here, first generation immigrant from Ireland. And we had this great conversation about what we're doing. And he was planning out his family's day, and I was planning out my family's day, like very specific stuff. I'm like, I want the kids to be able to do the jet ski thing. I want the kids but we were like very specific about the kids will do the jet ski. My kids will do the coloring books. Boom, boom, boom. This guy's a grandpa, and he's doing it for his grandkids. He's very, very specific about the agenda. And I have just found that very few people on our planet are proactive. It's just not. Just by nature, it's just like by nature we're not proactive. And the only way that I can teach you to become a proactive person quickly is to one-on-one coaching is fabulous, because every week you have somebody holding you accountable to your goals.
Right.
But if you can't do that, just surround yourself with people who are where you want to be in that area of your life. So if you want to get in great shape, I mean, Paul, you got in unbelievable shape for this fitness competition. What was your starting weight, and what did you end at?
16 weeks ago, started at 176, ended at 147.
Wow.
It was ridiculous.
It's impressive.
28. It's almost embarrassing how light. Now, in a week, I've gained back about 10 pounds since it's been over.
But your photos were pretty striking. I mean, you finished second in the competition. Is that right?
Yeah, I would like to look like that all the time and still eat the way I want to eat.
But you got in great shape.
Yes.
But did you say, you know what, I want to get in great shape. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to eat the same diet that I've always been eating, and I'm just going to sort of will it into existence? Or did you reach out to a mentor or an expert who really knew what they're doing?
No, Clay. It's kind of like, I had some shirts made that were muscle shirts. On the back it says "Success is intentional," and I hired a coach. Imagine that. I hired a coach.
What?
Yeah, and
That's crazy.
And I was already in good shape. I felt good. I looked good, I thought, for 50 years old. And this guy said, "Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the end in mind, and then we're going to build this program. This is
You
what
lost
you're gonna
how
eat."
many pounds in a month?
28 pounds in 16 weeks.
Now, if you're listening to this show right now, I've seen this with people of all weights lose 28 pounds in a month by following these systems. So again, this is not hyperbole. This is not an exaggeration. You actually did this. Continue.
Yes. So the way I did it is the way I teach people at hoodcpas.com to be successful in business. You start with the end in mind, and then you design a program. You work the program.
Come on.
You measure the results, and then you modify the program. So he set up what I was going to eat, when I ate. I had to prep my food. I knew I had to eat 6-7 times a day, exactly what I was going to eat, how much it weighed, everything.
You run around with your blender. You brought your blender in the studio.
Yeah, the coolest blender ever. It was great.
Right.
And the food was good. You know, I missed the things that I couldn't eat, but the point is I had a goal in mind. I started with the end in mind, and we got there and we ran to the finish line.
So here we go. I'm going to break down the attributes of the people you want to associate yourself with. I'm going to go attribute one by one, rapid fire. I'm going to tip the first one to Dr. Z, the second one to Marshall, the third one to Paul. We'll go around the horn. Here we go.
Okay, dude.
Attribute number one, Napoleon Hill writes, the attributes of successful people are unwavering courage. Unwavering courage means they have a full belief in themselves and their occupation. No intelligent follower will follow a leader who lacks self-confidence and courage. Z, unwavering courage. What say you?
One of my core things, and for people that have been around me any significant amount of time, know that the thing that I want to stamp out almost the most is fear.
Fear?
Fear. People that make decisions.
I'm afraid.
People that make decisions through their fear just wear me out. It's hard for me to be around people that live in that category. I'm telling you what, just get rid, if you're out there.
But they might abduct me. An alien might come abduct me.
We could be in a car wreck. I tell you
a car wreck.
It could go down.
Bobby should wear a helmet.
The sky could fall tomorrow. You know it could.
Business could fail.
I'm going to encourage you out there. Listen, if you got ears, listen to this right now. Listen to it. Get rid of fear in your life. Just say to yourself, I am fearless.
I am fearless.
I am fearless.
I have no fear at all.
I have no fear at all. And if you're making decisions based upon fear of any kind, shame on you. Get rid of it and be positive and be optimistic.
Let's play roulette tonight.
Okay.
No, but I mean, so you're not crazy fear.
Yeah.
Right, because you say no fear. This makes sure we balance it out. Because you're not telling people to be ridiculous and not think about reality. You're saying don't be bound by fear.
Don't be bound by fear. So many people make decisions based upon fear. It's kind of like, well, I'm afraid this may happen, so I better not do
what
this.
if it happens?
I don't want to start a business because it might fail. That's fear. That's fear. That's what that is fear.
Come on now. Now, self-control, Marshall. This is put simply, if you cannot control yourself, then you can never control others. Self-control is a must in leadership. Break it down.
You must be able to show discipline in your ability to say no. If you set your goals and you identify what it takes in order to get to that goal, if you don't have the discipline to say no in the things that would distract you away from that goal.
No. I've been practicing.
That's a lot of
That
no's.
is perfect.
That's a lot of no's.
But most people, exactly that. They have to practice on saying no with themselves before they can say no for others.
You want to start, if you want to learn to say no, you start with the N sound. So
and then you follow with kind of a roundish.
So you and then what you do is pretty soon. And then this is what happens: is as soon as you
put
say,
them together.
Was no. Now if you do it enough, what'll happen is you'll start to notice that immediately after you say no, this is the reaction you're going to get. You get the three reactions, Marshall. You only have 3. This is what the human race can give you. Here's the first one.
I'm going to say no, and then you do the reaction.
Okay, ready?
Okay, ready? No.
Are you kidding me? I've known you since high school. Are you kidding me? It's the guilt move. They want to guilt you into doing what they want you to do.
That's number 1.
That's number 1.
Okay. Move number 2. Move number 2. This is it's questionable ethics, but I like it.
Ready?
Ready to go.
No.
So when you say no, what exactly do you mean by that? Yeah.
Because I'm hearing yes.
See, that's sales. That's sales move.
Oh yeah, that's a dirty little move.
Now here is the third, and this is probably the my favorite. It's passive aggressive avoidance.
Okay.
So here we go. Go for it.
Ready? No.
Great. I'll pick you up at 6.
Just
that's just ignoring, and that's a move. And so you've got to get used to that. I think people are so afraid of people freaking out, they don't say no. So that's a move. Now, Paul, this next move is number 3. You want to surround yourself with people who have a keen sense of justice, essential for leadership in any calling. Otherwise, you will lose the respect of your followers. You want to surround yourself with people that don't make decisions based off of religion, politics, race, feelings, emotions, but based on logic. Talk to me about a keen sense of justice and how that plays into you running your businesses at Hood CPAs.
Yeah, a keen sense of justice to me would be you do what's right.
Oh.
You do what's right. And again, Zig Ziglar says if you help enough other people get what they want in life, you get what you want in life. And there's so many people that think the key to success is lying and cheating and the quick get-rich quick scheme.
I just want to
Hey, I tell you what, if you got 2 friends with $100, I can just give it to you right now.
Hey, Paul, real quick here. This is the deal. I have worked on a deal for several weeks with an unbelievable deal with a Saudi
and I've
prince.
done it, and I can verify it.
The denarii is what we would call the Iraqi currency, which has been
not so loud,
liquidated
Clay.
due
Someone
to a
could hear
war
you.
zone. But what we're going to do is you put some money into the denarii. When the economy turns around, as Trump's going to do here very soon, next thing you know, a few rockets go into Syria. I have guy inside the wire. We call it the wire.
He's an inside
And what
guy.
he's going to do is when you put the money in, the rockets, next thing you know, you're worth millions. So when you want to do it, it's only $10,000. You got to do it like in an hour.
I got a good one the other day. I got an email from Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett. I give away Warren Buffett's book.
Yeah.
If you go to my
What'd he
website,
say to you? What'd he say?
hoodcpas.com. Warren Buffett is going to give me $500 million.
Oh, thanks, Warren.
Yeah, it was a great deal. He
Nice.
almost had me. I almost clicked, but it's that kind of deal.
Somebody's
you do what's
using,
right.
yeah, they always use celebrities' names, or they say they're a Saudi prince, or you just
do what's right. Do what is going to create wealth or benefit for the long term. Quit trying the little short term stuff.
Yeah, that
the little
Nigerian
get-rich
prince
quick.
though that I'm helping, that's a legit thing.
That is.
That's
different.
legit.
you got to
that's
call us
different.
right
Just
now. He's a
send
bit of
another $100,000 and you got it.
He's
You're
a
there.
vanity gracious king.
Well,
He's a vanity gracious
I got to
man.
grease the wheels. I got to get all the paperwork done. That costs money.
You got to give to
And then
get.
they got to transfer over the $30 million. I mean, it's a thing.
See, the money is locked inside what we recorded in a holding area. And to free up the money, he gives you $100 million.
Clay, it's not about the money. I need to help this estranged Nigerian prince. I mean, come on.
Let us assume that you are wrong and I am right. You give me all your money, I give you more money back.
Oh, that sounds like a good deal.
Some people do.
If it sounds too good to be true, it
is.
Yeah. Customs keep so many people from being wealthy. All that money's just held up in customs. It's been sent by all these side princes.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
sitting
the
there.
deal.
Freaking customs.
See, number 4, batting cleanup, definiteness of decision. If you do not make strong decisions after you've gathered the facts, you are unsure. People do not follow people who are unsure, Z.
people want strong leadership.
Come on.
And even if you make a decision and it was wrong, you at least made the decision.
And then,
I'm going to repeat that again. So many people say, listen, I'm not going to make a decision until everything's perfect, until everything's right.
But this is what
until
you
I
do
know for sure.
You gather all the facts,
Well, yes.
and then you
Make a decision.
That's what you do.
What I'm saying is that sometimes, folks, you may say to yourself, well, I'm afraid, here again, fear. I'm afraid to make the wrong decision, so therefore I'm just going to sit on it
Ready?
and not make a decision.
Aim.
Fire. Aim. Oh, no, aim some more.
Aim.
Wait.
Aim.
Reload. Check the bullet. Check the
Aim.
bullet. Check the bullet.
Deconstruct the gun. Aim. Get a manual. Aim.
Reconstruct the gun back.
Right. Get a YouTube video on how to aim.
Clean the bullet again.
Take another class. Aim.
Aim.
Meanwhile, the criminal's left with all your crap.
Yeah, there you go. The thing about it is people like strong leadership, and strong leadership is about not making from the hip, but it's about making decisions whenever it's time to make the decision. And the time to make the decision is when you get all the facts gathered. Then you got to fire. You've got to do it. You've got to go. You just got to go with it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Do it till you're satisfied. Just do it and do it. Do it till you're satisfied. Just do it and do it. Do it till you're satisfied. Okay.
Thank you. We'd like to just express our thoughts and feelings about trashing as many songs as we can on the radio show and the podcast throughout the years. Thank you very much.
You know, Z, speaking of Dr. Sibley and shameless segues, if you're out there looking for a chiropractor and you're not currently using your brother Chuck, we would invite you to check out our good friend Dr. Sibley.
He's a great guy.
He's a great sponsor. He's a great guy. Wayne Gretzky has actually used Dr. Sibley to adjust
He's a big deal.
his spine. The NHL Hall of Fame great athlete, Sibley Chiropractic. You can give him a call today at 918-749-5741, 918-749-5749. Allergies, arm pain, backaches. He can help you out. Dr. Sibley. That's Dr. John Sibley.com. One more time. I'm trying to write it down. Give me a second. It's Dr. John Sibley.com. One more time. drjohnsibley.com. Stay tuned.
You are now entering the dojo of Mojo and the Thrivetime Show.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. 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 This is Clay Clark on the mic again. Myopic focus, tunnel vision. I'm focused on the mission to teach you the skills and give you the plans. Broadcasting from my lands to the left, to the Portlands. I'm here to tell you you can do it. Yes, you can. And now, my friend, you got 2 fans. He be the Z, comma, ands. I'll be the C, yes, ands. Now let's kick it like Batman, bam, and get a little nuts like pecans. Yes, Thrive Nation. My name is Clay Clark, and today we're talking about what separates giraffes from the turtles. The turtles.
The little guys.
The little guys.
The little guys. They got little legs.
Little turtle.
You know, I mean,
I want to share the personality traits that someone chooses to improve upon to become successful. And as we're going through these final traits, what I'm going to do is we're going to read the trait, and I am going to rip on myself when I know that has been a thing of a problem area for me over the years. All right? So this next one is definiteness of plans. You must plan your work and work your plan. Otherwise, you're moving by guesswork, and you will eventually fail. That one has never been a hard thing for me. I'm a big planner. I like to look at the plans. I like to really research and strategize and read the books and lay it out and make the workflow. That to me has never been a hard aspect of it. But for a lot of my coaching clients, they've never had a plan. It's just by the seat of their pants. They're just going 90 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. But this next character of successful people is one I struggled with for a long time. It's the habit of doing more than paid for. Because this is what happened was, I got a job at Target, and I did not understand this concept. Have you ever heard of the concept of work as unto the Lord? Have you ever had that concept? You ever heard about that?
Yes.
It's a concept. It's in Colossians 3:23, 24, and I'll have Chuck put that on the show notes there. But this is what it says. I thought it said something else, but this is what it said. It says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Since you know you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you're serving. I used to think it said this here, Paul. Paul, this is what I thought. I thought it said, whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart if you like your manager, as working for the manager who is a flawed human. Since you know that you'll receive your inheritance as a result of eating all the pretzels when he doesn't look at you while working in the Target electronics section. Signed, sincerely, Beavis.
And Butthead.
Yeah, and I thought that was somehow in the Bible there. So I want to. What's the idea though? Where do people get that wrong? I used to do that. I used to not work hard unless the person I was working for deserved my work. Well, but now I just do it regardless. You know what I mean? But talk to me about that.
Well, I think what that is saying is and that's great. That's what I define as an A player. Is even an employee that they treat the business as if it's theirs. Because most of the time when you have a business owner that's really, you can tell they're going to be successful. They don't do just the minimum. They do extra. And really, especially in the early stages of their business, they're working, don't get paid until down the road. And so when you look for an employee that does that is somebody who is treating the business as if it was theirs, and that's somebody you can build a business around. And so I think that's a mentality that can be developed, but a lot of times, like you've said before, they've got to make their own choice. Now, Clay, I've got a question for you. We're comparing giraffes and turtles. So I did 9 miles on Sunday.
9 miles?
Yeah, and so
how long does it take you?
You know how many? About 2 hours.
Wow.
You know how many turtles I saw dead on the road? That was probably 10. You know how many giraffes I saw dead on the road?
13.
0.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's shocking.
I think that's a picture.
Shaka Khan.
Yeah. If you want to be a turtle, you're gonna get ran over.
That's a I hadn't thought about it that way, but I do agree with that. I do think that if you're slow to adopt these character traits, you're going to get run over by life. And so this final one.
Hold on a second. I've got something to add on to that.
Oh yeah, add on.
When you talked about that, the concept of who you're working for,
right?
That is by definition the difference between a giraffe and a turtle. The turtle sees the human manager. They see their flaws. They see that when they're not around, hey,
look at him.
Hey,
my boss isn't perfect.
He's on, the old saying, when the cat's away,
the mice will play.
The mice will play.
Yes.
The giraffe, though, says, you know what? I know it's in my best interest for a number of reasons to work hard and to be diligent, no matter who's watching. Oh, by the way, with cameras now, they're pretty much watching all the time.
Right. Turns out.
Turns out.
If you're out there scamming people.
Turns out when Billy the manager's off on the smoke break, he's on his phone watching the cameras. Yeah, they're still watching.
Look at those people not working at all, I swear.
But the giraffe knows that the long-term view of him being diligent in his work pays off in a number of ways. One, next thing you know, he's the manager.
It becomes a reputation thing.
People start talking about it. Why did you see
the inner confidence you develop? The work ethic.
Right.
I mean, wow.
There's so many things. There's so many good reasons why you're doing it. One was the scripture you quoted, but there's also so many other good reasons to do it. And that's really the giraffe's view of it, going, you know what? I know nobody may be watching, but I'm still going to work my best.
Speaking of character traits that will lead to your success, this next one is one that Eric Chupp personifies. And I'm not just saying he's on the show, but it's having a pleasing personality. And this is needed to get the respect of followers, and it is essential. Now, Chupp, you are on the inside now. You see what's going on.
I've made it to the inside.
You see, you're in the inner circle. And you know this is something that I constantly work on because I'm just I have a real hard time when people don't get their stuff done. And I don't mention it. I don't I don't really candy coat it unless I'm very intentional.
True.
And so you see me work at that. What are some ways you see in our weekly meeting? Because John's personality is very similar to mine, where you see our staff meeting where we try to make it fun, where it could be otherwise dark and intense.
Yeah, so that would be one area, right, is we try to have some fun. I think at our coaches meeting this morning, actually, we had a little game where you play and it shocks you. 6 a.m. in the morning and somebody got shocked pretty heavily, so that was fun. But one of the main things I would see is that you are very intentional these days about taking a pause before you answer or talk to somebody if you need to. And not only that, not being scared to say, hey, let's talk about the next item on the list and come back to that, instead of feeling the need to just get whatever's on your mind off of your mind, when in the past that probably would have come off not so sugar-coated.
Right. And it's just, I will just say, I want to be candid, and but at the same time, you have to be likable. It's such a weird... It's
benevolent dictatorship, right?
Yeah, it's just weird because it's like you tell somebody on your team they're late, and there's a way to say, hey, you're late today. I need you to stop being late. I have a question to you. Are you trying to, like, ruin my life? Is that what you're up to? Is that part of your game here?
It feels
and I'll kind of joke with them, and they'll go, no, I'm okay. And I'm like, hey, I mean, what do I need to say to you to get you to want to be on time?
What am I doing wrong?
What am I doing wrong? Do we need to watch MacGyver all night together? Do we need to get together at the office and watch MacGyver reruns? Because I swear I'll watch them with you if you don't. They're like, no, it's cool. But you can be funny about it, or you can just be blunt and really irritate people. And I think that's you got to make sure you're intentional about offering that great service as well as that great personality that comes with it. And Chubb, I think of a great contracting company in Tulsa. I think of Will I Am Contracting.
Will I Am Contracting.
Williams Contracting.
I think it's just William.
Did you say Williams?
Williams. What's his?
It's William.
Tell us about Williams Contracting.
His website is will-con.com. Will-con.com. Get a hold of these guys if you're needing to build a new building, add on to an existing building, whatever you need in construction.
Commercial buildings.
Oh, these guys got your back. Okay, their goal is to exceed the owner's expectations from start to finish. Call them today at 918-682-5511. 918-682-5511, or check them out at will-con.com.
Williams Contracting.
No, it's like William Wallace. See, it's William.
Attend the world's best business workshop led by America's #1 business coach for free by subscribing on iTunes and leaving us an objective review. Claim your tickets by emailing us proof that you did it and your contact information to info@thrivetimeshow.com.
Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is another exciting edition and another adventure of the Thrivetime Show on your radio. We're talking about the difference between giraffes and turtles. If you're just tuning in, basically, there are some people that grow big enterprises and they lose it all. And then they do it again. They grow it big.
Oh, yeah.
There are some people that grow a business, they sell the business, then they start another one, they grow it, and they just have this Midas touch, people say.
Yes.
Then there are some people that have the ability to never have success because they're loyal to their dysfunction. So what we're trying to do is help somebody out there today who's maybe been off having a mental luncheon for a while, and you're not really in an area of function. You're in an area of dysfunction, and you're saying, you know what? I know my life doesn't have to be this way, and I want to know how to do it. So we're trying to help you with these moves. And right now we're really harping on these leadership traits, these leadership characteristics you can develop over time. This next one is number 8. This is a weakness for me, and I have watched Dr. Z. I say a weakness. I want to be clear. I would give myself a C on this area of my life, and I would give Dr. Z an A on this. And what makes me say that? I've seen Dr. Z in areas where he could have definitely done the right thing in terms of the math and said, you know what? I have no feelings of pity or sorrow for you. You've gotten to where you are because of what you've done. We move on. But I've seen Dr. Z, when possible, always take the high road. I've seen Dr. Z always take the road of not judging a man while he's down. I've seen Dr. Z always look for the bright side, even in ridiculously horrible situations. I've seen Dr. Z, heard of Dr. Z being really, really screwed and really not lamenting on it. I've seen Dr. Z where somebody, allegedly said something about him, and so he said, let's call this person up right now. Let's go. I've seen him do this all the time, and I really appreciate his ability to do number 8. This is sympathy and understanding. A successful leader must be in sympathy with his or her followers and understand their problems if they want people to follow them. Z, talk to me about your approach to sympathy and the understanding of your teammates.
A lot of people out there, they say to themselves, I want justice.
Justice.
I want justice.
Yes.
I want what's due me. I want what's fair. I want justice.
Off with his head, man. I'll tell you
I want
what.
to tell you what. That guy did me wrong. And I'll tell you what. I want justice. I want
justice.
this thing to get
Eye for an
figured out
eye.
right now. Because I'll tell you what. Billy, stop playing the banjo and get the shovel. Come on. We're going to go get justice right now. Okay?
Come on. Let's go get justice.
And the thing about it is you've got to change your mindset. You don't want justice. You want mercy.
Ooh.
Powerful.
You don't want, trust me, you don't want what you deserve in life. Trust me on that.
Come on now.
You don't want it because none of us are all that great when you really bore it down and break it down. Now, some are worse than others. I'll grant that. I'll grant that. But I'm telling you what, you don't want justice in life. You want mercy. And so if it's something I want,
Come on now.
then guess what I want to give to other people? Ooh. I want what I want.
So what's the balance?
So I want to give them mercy.
So you have an employee that's chronically late,
Okay.
and even stealing some crap at your optometry clinic.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you got to say, okay, what's the filter we run it through, Clay?
Well, one, you'd say, why are you stealing crap? You could be stealing glasses or something of value.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to steal.
That's one thing you could say. That's so
fertilization. I got a garden out home, and I just,
There's a shortage.
Yeah, fertilizer's expensive. The thing about it is, at some point, you've got to do what's best for the business. So, you have mercy. That doesn't mean. So, for instance, I find people that steal money from me.
Yeah.
Instead of calling the police, having them arrested, which I could do.
Right.
I give them mercy, and I say, you know what? Hey, if you can pay me back, great. If you can't, but you're not working here any longer.
Right.
Right. I'm gonna end. When you find yourself in a hole, you stop digging first. Right.
Right. Number one.
And so, you say, hey, listen, you're not going to be here any longer, but you know what? I forgive you. And, oh, by the way, if you want to pay me back, you know how to get the money to me. And I'm not going to call the police and do a police report and have you thrown in jail, which I could.
Could do it.
Could do it. That's justice.
It's justice.
That is justice.
It's America.
That's America. They stole from me. By God.
Well, I'll tell you
I got it on camera. I got it on camera. They're cold. It's smooth cold. It's a shut. And
follow them around all weekend. I'll get in my truck and chase them down. You will never hear the end of it.
How are you going to look in orange the rest of your life? Huh? How are you going to look in orange now? Yeah. You should have thought about that.
You could spend all night every night chasing around people.
You could. But I'm telling you what, that's my philosophy in life. And the thing about it, just like I've told you before, Clay, I've been in businesses before where they say, hey, listen, there's going to be 100 people come in here. 100. And one is going to try to
screw you.
Get to us.
So we got to change the rules.
No. So we're going to treat them all. In order for that one not to get to us,
we got to treat them all like criminals.
Yeah.
We got to put the place on lockdown.
Lock them down. Armed security guards walking with them the entire time. Perimeter guard dogs, sniff dogs, that can sniff out frames. I smell Ray-Bans in their pocket.
Shooting off rounds for no reason.
And the problem is about 30% of those people will feel like, that's just dirty. That just felt like they didn't trust me. And
Ma'am, I don't normally do this. Now, my dog here, he's going to be sniffing you from head to toe to make sure you're a good fit for this.
Now, he only sniffs out Ray-Bans and Oakleys because them's expensive ones, okay?
Yeah,
so everything else you'll be fine.
Here.
Before your eye exam, we're going to have to do a
if you sold some of them generic ones,
just something,
that's okay.
As I've been traveling a little bit more here the last couple of weeks, I've noticed that I can get an extensive back of the hand, upper thigh massage if I wear baggy shorts.
That's why you do that.
When I travel, every time the TSA
You're welcome.
Oh, you mean when you okay, I got you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the last time I told the guy he's very thorough, and he did not smile at all.
Yeah, and the thing about it, I love the line is that, do you want to do this in private? I'm like, oh, no.
No.
No. Oh, no, I want everyone to see the glory of this. Come on. No.
All right, now
Don't you cheat me. Don't you cheat me, TSA.
Move number 9, mastery of detail. All great leaders know every single detail of their position to the most minute detail. They master whatever is expected of them. They master, again, what's expected of them. They don't master everything that matters about everything in the world. You don't sit there and memorize all the insurances you take and every kind of glasses you take and you don't do that. You just master the details you need to know.
Correct. In fact, I had a patient once ask me if I took a certain kind of insurance. I said, no, and if I ever have to figure that out, I'm going to fire my insurance person. Here's who you need to ask, and they'll know, okay? So I'm just saying it's kind of like, worry about the stuff you need to worry about. Learn the stuff you need to learn, and then, the other stuff, you have your people take care of that, right?
Now, there's two final attributes I want to cover here because we get back from the break. I want Scott, a member of the Thrive community who's actually attended a workshop, and his daughter now works with us at the Thrivetime show. I'd like for him to be able to ask Dr. Z any questions that he has, or ask myself any questions that he has. He's been shadowing me throughout the day, and there's no questions that are out of bounds. So this is move number 10 and 11. You want to have the willingness to assume full responsibility. If you're a leader, a successful leader must be willing to be responsible for the mistakes and shortcomings of your followers.
The buck stops with you.
You just got to say, it's my fault. it's my deal. The final one is cooperation. This is essential. As well as cooperating with others, a successful leader must also induce his or her followers to cooperate. Leadership calls for power, and power is only available through the help of others, which requires cooperation. Now, Chubb, we have a great sponsor out there we love to cooperate with, and that's RC Auto Specialists.
Those guys.
Chubb, tell us about these beautiful guys.
These guys, they've got 80 combined years of experience working on Ford motor vehicles. So if you've got a Power Stroke Ford diesel out there that's acting up, or any type of Ford, suspension problems, heat and air issues, any of this stuff, get a hold of them. 918-872-8115. Again, 918-872-8115, or check them out at rcautospecialists.com. rcautospecialists.com.
I highly recommend you check these guys out. Roy is a client. He's a friend. He's a great guy and a great show sponsor. Check out rcautospecialists.com today.
Want to attend the legendary Thrivetime Show Business Workshop for free? Subscribe on iTunes, leave an objective review, and send us confirmation at info@thrivetimeshow.com to claim your tickets. Want to live in a van down by the river? Come by and see us at our Riverwalk offices, and we'll be able to make your dreams come true.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrive Time Show on your radio. And today, we had a listener that's really taking advantage of a lot of what Thrive has to offer. And I just want to brag on Scott. Scott attended a workshop. Scott, do you remember, was it in October?
I think it was October.
October, you attended a workshop. Where are you from originally?
California.
Okay, so you attended a workshop. I think you heard of us on the radio show.
That's right.
And you brought your daughter with you.
I did.
And your daughter at the time, I think, was 16 or 15 years old?
16, yes.
16, and you have a food truck business.
I do.
And it was towards the end of day 2, you came up to me and you said, I remember this, you said, hey, I don't know right now at the timing if the program would be right for us, for what you guys do, but I know my daughter would benefit from being in this kind of environment. Could she intern? And your daughter said, hey, I'll do it for free. I'll do whatever. And this girl came in, Roberta, and just has worked diligently. And she's now to a place where she's doing search engine optimization.
Yep.
And she's getting up to, pre-tax 14 to 17 an hour as a 17-year-old now. And so I think that's pretty cool that you did that. Second thing I think is pretty cool is that you said, hey, can I shadow? Can I come shadow? You want to see what I do on a daily basis from really about 5:55 to 4:35. I mean, you've been shadowing all day. I mean, see, this is incredible.
You skipped over a very powerful thing right there. You just kind of skipped. You just kind of skipped right over it.
Like a glazed donut.
I want to unpack it just a little bit.
Oh, nice. Yes.
And you said something that his daughter, Roberta, wanted to come in and intern, i.e. work for free. The super move, right? That we teach on the show. And then you said, you didn't even pause. And you said, oh, and now she's making $14, $17 pre-tax.
She's actually she's actually right now, if she was acting her wage, she would be a 35-year-old making more money than 3/4 of the people in Oklahoma. And she's on pace. If she stays, she's going to start working full-time this summer. She should make 21 to 23 an hour. And I told her dad, and I told her, if she stays the course and did what I call my Mormon Thrive mission, 2 years of just working at Thrive,
there you go,
she'd be up to making $75,000 or $80,000 a year because she's so diligent.
Well, and that's the concept, though, is, hey, I got my foot in the door.
Right.
By doing the super move.
Yes.
Saying, hey, I'll just come in and work for free.
It's awesome.
I just want to intern.
Right.
And then that transitions into money. Because you see this young lady and say, hey, listen, she's good.
Right.
She's over-delivering.
What?
She's being diligent.
It's crazy.
Attitude, on time. Oh.
She has the 5 A's rocking and rolling.
She does.
And then you say to yourself, we need to keep her around.
We do.
We should probably throw her some money.
Right.
And that way we'll keep her here.
Because she's great.
Right. And that's a super move. That's what you do. And the concept, people are like, well, I would never go work for free for them.
I value myself as I have more
cheapens my brand, and my brand's very important to me. And,
Well, here's the deal. I'm going to give Scott the permission, if he wants to cheapen our brand or build up our brand, whatever he wants. He can ask us any questions he wants here.
Fair enough.
So, Scott, you have the floor.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity, not only for this and for my daughter. A little back, I spent a lot of time in the military, and my whole attitude was go out and do the job regardless of the sacrifice. So when I became a civilian, which I didn't really convert to very well, my After listening to your podcasts for 4 or 5 hours a day, I realized I was in the wrong position to be successful at a business mentally. So after I don't know, hundreds of hours of listening to your podcasts, now I find myself in a unique position of having a full-time job, which is necessary at the moment, and yet trying to start a successful business.
There you go. Like that.
Yep.
Okay. My business is such that the hours are countered to my being able to be there. So how do I solve a personnel problem? How do I have some, if I'm not able to be there the majority of the open hours?
Yep. I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to walk you through how to do it. This is what I would do, and then I'll have Z one up me here. One is I'd go by the camera. What's the camera that Chup that Marshall has? The Arlo 2.
Yeah.
By the Arlo 2 cameras, it's about $400. You install that camera in the food truck.
Okay.
That's step one. You get that done. Step two, what you do is you make sure that you do a group interview every Wednesday. And so I used to do my group interviews at Panera Bread while I had 3 separate jobs every Wednesday night. I would meet people. I'd rent the little room for $25 or $30, and I'd do a group interview. And if no one showed up, I would do training with my existing staff. Either way, I'm always training and recruiting. And I let people know I pay based on performance, and I am always watching. Now, back in the day, how I did it is I had people who I knew. I would have them spot check the weddings because I could never be at the wedding to watch. Right. Now, the Arlo technology is so great. The cameras that used to be like $20,000 are like $500, and you can hear audio of what they're saying, what they're doing.
You
and the
can
camera
speak
quality.
back to them, actually. Two-way audio.
Yeah, dude.
Very cool.
You can hop in your car during lunch and go, put your pants on. I mean, you can really. Those would be my 2 steps. What would you recommend?
Okay, you might want to write this down.
I'm typing it up for him. I'll print it out.
There's a website you need to go to, drherreraacapulco.com. You need to fly down and see him. He's got a little clinic down in Acapulco, okay?
Yes.
I can't tell you the exact location because it's kind of a secret deal. And you need to give him about 6 weeks of your time, and he will clone you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing.
I think his
slogan is "Don't be alone, get a clone."
Make sure you take a lot of pesos because he doesn't take U.S. currency, which is weird, or euros. I found out. But Dr. Herrera down there is actually cloning people or some. No, you did exactly.
This doesn't look like you, Z. Who are you? Wait a minute.
I'm busted. When you start making clones of clones, that's when it gets kind of sketchy.
You got a crazy eye going on here.
Well, the thing about it is, I say that in joke, but you want to get your DNA. You want to find people, and they're out there. The one thing that drives me crazy is when people are saying, "Yeah, you can't. There's no good employees out there. You can't find good help.
No, you can't.
You can't find good help." No. And I always equate it to like going to TJ Maxx and going, you don't know what's going to be in there, but you got to dig, and you'll find a good deal.
Every Wednesday at 5, we do a group interview, and every Thursday at 5, I think Tip Top Canine does their group interview.
Yep. Yeah.
And there's a lot of good people every week that we can't hire because we're already booked out. We already have the people. You can just show up.
Come segue of ours.
Yeah, Wednesday at 5.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, what you do is you're always trying to upgrade. You're always trying to upgrade your personnel, and you try to get people that they're never going to love that food truck as much as you do. Just get over that. I mean, they're never going to. Can I sleep here, Scott? Can I sleep here?
It's not.
I want to make this my home.
It's not about the money.
Don't pay me. I want to enter it in your food truck.
I'm the Mother Teresa of food trucks.
But as you work around them, as you train on them, like Clay said, as you spend time with them, as you put more and more of your DNA into them, the cream will rise to the top. You'll find some people that are like great people, and then take good care of them, pay them well. Take good care of them, because if you don't, somebody else will. They'll go start their own food truck, right? I mean, it's not magic. I mean, it's not like, hey, get a truck and
this is a magical food truck. Look at it, it's amazing.
Apparently, put some food in it. Right. I'm going to put a big horn on the front of mine, make it a unicorn food truck.
Since this food truck's been serving mushrooms, it's been magical.
But that's the key, and the thing about it is, finding good people is one step. Keeping those good people is the second step, and that's really probably almost more important, because when you find them now, what gets tough What gets tough is when you find the good person, you keep them, and then guess what? They get entitled.
Oh,
well, I'm the one working this food truck. I mean, come on, Scott,
it's
really?
gonna happen.
I mean, that's the difficult issues. Finding good people, that's one. Keeping good people, two, and then working through that entitlement phase
by replacing them.
They will get to, And it's tough. That's the thing. It's tough. You're like, I've got an A player here that is busting my chops about.
Z, speaking of A players, thinking about entitlement, look at this here. The Patriots, look at the guys they just picked up.
Oh, no.
They went here to the 5th round.
We had some good going.
We almost made it through a
trades
show.
his first and second round picks away for rando 5th rounders. We got Jawan Bentley. We got Christian Sam, yet another one. We've got, here he is. Another Patriot, one of these undrafted guys, Braxton Berrios.
5'9", 183.
Name it, claim it. Look, it's Wes Welker's clone, yet another man who they're drafting from the University.
I bet Wes went down to Dr. Herrera and Acapulco.
That's him.
Look at him. There he is. Little small guy. And he's a cloner. And Z, they're going to keep him until he gets entitled, probably.
And then they boot him.
And then it's 4th and long.
Right.
And then they boot him.
The Patriots are just a great example of a small business.
Next up.
What's your next question there, Mr. Scott?
The next question is, after today and seeing how your systems plug in, you can plug a business in, I find myself in the need of making my business scalable, which is going to cause me to change my business. So do I continue to run it under the same name, like Route 66, catering versus fry bread, make the catering scalable, move the fry bread truck off to the side, keep it all under the same umbrella, or change the name entirely?
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to answer the rest of this question on the podcast version of the show. Go to thrivetimeshow.com, click on the podcast button, and you will hear the rest of the show. Now, at thrivetimeshow.com, we have 4 ways to serve you. Obviously, we have the podcast where you can hear the rest of this episode. We've got the one-on-one in-person. We have the one-on-one business coaching. We got 2. The in-person workshops.
3.
And we have thousands upon thousands of unbelievable smoking hot video trainings with world-class mentors. You can learn how to start and grow a successful company at thrivetimeshow.com. Say it with me now. Thrivetimeshow.com. Now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show. 3, 2, 1, boom!
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It's the Thrivetime Show on your radio, and today we're talking about kind of a deep topic, kind of a topic that's a little bit deeper than we typically get into here, but it's something I'm passionate about because I remember what it was like to build DJconnection.com from my dorm room to the boardroom. Now, this table, Steve, that we have here, that's the table that used to be in the Man Cave Studios. Yep. That's the table that I used to have as my boardroom in my office at DJ Connection. I kept it, brought it over. And I remember what it was like to be in an office where my company, DJ Connection, we made $167 per wedding we did, and we would do in a typical weekend like 80. So I'm in a room with a lot of people in Tulsa. I mean, there's doctors, there's doctors, Steve, there's dentists, there's lawyers. And a lot of those guys don't make $167 times 80 a week,
Right.
And I'm in the room, and I remember I getting invited because I won Entrepreneur of the Year for the city of Tulsa when I was 20 for Young Entrepreneur of the Year. Then I won a quality award from the U.S. Chamber for a quality control standard where they independently, you can volunteer to have your company independently audited, and if you score a certain level, then you can move up. And I just won a lot of awards, and things were good. But people would talk to me like I was mildly retarded because I was a disc jockey.
Yeah.
They'd say, well, what do you do for a living? I said, well, I started a DJ company. And immediately they would go, oh, okay, all right. And it was almost like they wanted to get like hand puppets and go, well, basically what we're going to talk about now is accounting. I mean, it was like, we're going to talk about tax law. And it was almost like I was retarded because I wasn't doing mortgages or something. And so I was just praying that at some point I could become a source of wisdom. And now I do a AM talk radio show where we're broadcasting in Portland, baby, and in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and other markets, Portland, Oregon. And you know what? People come from all over the world to attend our workshops, and people actually pay me to grow their companies, and they don't even remember that I used to be a DJ. People now typically remember me as, oh, that's the guy who helped grow the carpet business or grow the haircut business, right, or the other. A lot of people don't even remember that I used to be a disc jockey.
Right.
And so I had to pray that God would help reveal to other people that I could be a source of wisdom. And Steve, here's the secret. I'm so used to talking to Dr. Z. The secret was I wasn't a source of wisdom.
Right.
And so I couldn't keep employees. No one wanted to work for me long term because no one wants to work for a manager. They want to work for a mentor.
Yeah.
You know, just today, a member of our team, I walked by her desk, and you know what she said to the coworker next to her when I wasn't present?
What?
They're having downtime in between calls at the Elephant in the Room. And one of the callers, she just started. And one of the other ladies, she says, I like working here because Mr. Clark is the best mentor I've ever had. And I've never had a male in my life who's been a leader, and he just helps me.
Wow, that's awesome.
And that happened today.
Yeah, nice.
Today. And John heard it, and I heard it, and I go, yes, answer to prayer. Thank you, Jesus.
Right.
But I remember sitting in services where Carlton Pearson was preaching. He had a mega church at the time, and he's no longer a Christian, so I can say I categorically disagree with Carlton about all things religion, but I agree with a lot of things about his approach to life. I don't agree with, we don't have the same God.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior like I do, but that's a different thing. But I remember sitting in his service where there's thousands of people who are coming every Sunday to hear him teach how to be how to have a better relationship with Christ. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if all the people that were coming to church and praying for a job and praying for how many people do you know, Steve, have prayed to lose weight or prayed for a job, right?
Yeah.
I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could just explain to them that, like, if you'll not eat carbohydrates, your body won't produce insulin, and you'll lose money or you'll lose weight as a result of just not eating carbs. I mean, seriously, I knew that because I had reached out to a doctor and I was like, hey, what's the key to weight gain? And he goes, if you eat carbohydrates, your body turns it into spiked insulin levels and it turns it into fat. So if you want to lose weight, just avoid wheat, sweets, and only eat lean meat. And I'm going, that's pretty deep. And so when you do it, it's crazy how jacked you can become real fast if you just do that.
Yeah.
And so I thought, wouldn't it be cool if people could come to like business church? And there at business church, people say stuff that's practical, like, hey, if you want to make like $500,000 a year, here's how to do it.
Yeah.
And there's no like get rich quick scheme. It's just like, this is how to do it.
Yeah.
You want to lose weight, this is how to do it. And so I was I want to give the listeners a look into what my sermons, what my Sundays would be like. So I'm going to play for you live audio, recorded audio, from one of the sermons that I sat in. I mean, this is Carlton Pearson, and I'm like sitting in the audience hearing my pastor, Carlton Pearson, sing. I'm going to play it for you, and I want you to kind of hear, hopefully, the magic. And if you don't hear the magic, and if you say, I don't get it, I get it. But I'm just saying to you, this is what I aspired to become. Was kind of like a business pastor.
You're going to start singing along. The listeners, they're going to be like, Father along, because I know, like, we played at the break, and I was like, you had to say, Steve, calm down, bro.
So here we go. I'm gonna cue it up. This is Carlton Pearson, my former pastor, singing one of my favorite songs in church called "Farther Along." Here we go.
Farther along. We'll come on. Know all about it. Come on. Farther along. We will understand why. Cheer up, my brother.
Cheer up, my brother.
Live in the sunshine. We will understand it. All by and by.
Like in the future.
Sing it again. Farther along. Come on.
Here we go.
Farther along. I see you, fellas. We will know all about it.
We're all about it. Here we go.
Farther along. Farther along. Just give yourself a little time. You're going to understand why. So cheer up, my brother. Live in the sunshine. We'll understand.
Where's my tambourine?
All by and by.
Here's the verse.
I love this verse. Come on. Tempted and tried, we're oft made to wonder. Anybody been there? Why it should be thus all the day long. While there are other
living in the sunshine all around
They
you.
are never molested, though they seem to be in the wrong.
Never molested, although they seem to be in the wrong.
If you're black or white or red or yellow, we'll know all about it. Father alone, Father, we will understand. Cheer up. You better live in the sunshine. We will understand it all by and by. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah. That was Carlton Pearson singing Farther Along. Now, he talks about, he says, he's singing Farther Along. We'll understand why. Farther along. And he's talking about there's people around you that seem to be never molested. It doesn't mean sexual. It means people around you who are never abused, although they are definitely in the wrong. So farther along, you'll understand why. And there's a Bible verse I want to give you right now. And for those of you who've never looked at a Bible before, the way the Bible is organized is basically the Bible has different books in it, different verses, different books. Each book is broken down into verses. There's the Old Testament. Now, the Old Testament, the way the Old Testament was written, this is like before Christ, allegedly, came to earth and died for our sins. So it's old. It's like before Christ died for our sins. And then there's the New Testament, which is the stuff that once Christ came to earth and brought the good news that we're all going to go to heaven if we believe in him. Then there's like a newer, updated version of the Bible, essentially. There's more. And if you read the Bible, there's Old Testament and there's the New Testament. And whether you like the Old Testament or the New Testament, or whether you choose to believe in the Bible or not, the reality is Matthew 5:10 states. Now, Steve Currington has the verse actually tattooed onto his arm, which is a true story.
It's truth.
It says, "Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And I know there's one person out there that probably needs to hear this again, so I'm going to read it to you. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of being right, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
If you're a managed people, run a company.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing I've discovered when you run a company, people will attack you if you hold them accountable.
Yep.
And they will point out every flaw that you've ever made in your life. They'll go, well, back in like 99, you were late for that one meeting. Don't go off on me, buddy.
Oh, you got fired before.
Right. And so there's a justification that begins.
Yeah.
Most people don't want to get better. They want to get bitter. And so I remember praying to become a source of wisdom. And one of the things I've learned over time is that there's people all around us who never seem to be attacked or abused. But over time, farther along, God will bless the diligent. Proverbs 10:4. God will bless the diligent. And I've seen it over and over and over. The people in my office who screw me, who take advantage of me, they always get what's coming to them. I mean, we started a drone photography company to help a guy in my office do well with his business. And he tried to take business on the side and cut me out of commissions and screw me and get squirrely. And long story short, his life is so screwed up now and his business sucks so bad that it's like he's selling vacuums, but he's not.
Right.
And so the
vacuums that don't suck.
The vengeance of the Lord. I mean, let God have his vengeance. You don't feel like you need to take the vengeance yourself, and you'll figure it out farther along. So if you're being screwed right now, if you want to become a source of wisdom, you can't get emotional. But I hear so many business owners say, I get so emotional, baby, every time I think of you. And I go, hey, listen, we're not singing along with Whitney Houston today. You might be emotional, but you don't need to react to it. You got to be meta. You got to be above that stuff. So mindset number 13, if you want to become a source of wisdom, is you've got to think it, write it, and then speak it into existence. Tony Robbins, the best-selling author, he were piling on today. He would say, this is a notable quotable from Tony Robbins. He says, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible.
Yep.
So what you've got to do is you've got to start to set goals. And so if you're in your dorm room thinking about starting your big company DJ connection, I'm going to let you on a little secret here. I believe in you. I do. What? I believe that there are plans to prosper you. Plans to prosper you. What? I believe there are plans to prosper who? Me? Yeah. I actually, if you look at the Bible, again, the Bible. Jeremiah 29:11 states, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." And so if you're listening right now and you feel like you don't have what it takes to be successful, I'm going to tell you this. You are wrong. You are equipped and divinely anointed and appointed to be able to become successful. You can do it. When we come back, we're talking about mindset number 14. And this is the importance of learning how to set 30-day goals. Stay tuned. It's the Thrivetime Show on your radio.
Want to attend the legendary Thrivetime Show Business Workshop for free? Subscribe on iTunes, leave an objective review, and send us confirmation at info@thrivetimeshow.com to claim your tickets. Want to live in a van down by the river? Come by and see us at our Riverwalk offices, and we'll be able to make your dreams come true.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. Tulsa, Oklahoma, welcome to the show. Portland, Oregon, welcome to the show. It's so exciting that we're being listened to right now. We have the majority of our downloads are not in Oklahoma. I mean, we have literally, think about this. If you're listening to the show right now, there's more people who listen to our show on a monthly basis than who go to Chicago Cubs games.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, if you go to a Chicago Cubs game, there's the attendance of a Chicago Cubs game, let me just pull this up real quick. Chicago Cubs attendance, just a little fun factoid for you. The Chicago Cubs attendance, their capacity at a game, let me pull this up here, at a game, and, where's Eric Chupp when you need him? Let me pull this up here. Let's put Wrigley Field, it's in North Chicago, Wrigley Field seating capacity. Let me go to it here. Bam, 41,268. And so I can say more people are listening to our show than who go to Cubs games.
Yep.
So I want to make sure that you listen to this. We're here on the show on a daily basis to help you, the listener, change your life. And we're talking today about how to become the elephant in the room. We're breaking down 57 words of wisdom and mindsets to becoming a successful person. Now, mindset number 14. This is big because I got stuck on this, Steve. This was a thing where I used to get so mercurial. Mercury is an element that goes up and down in temperature rapidly. I mean, it's just I was mercurial. I would say people could call me polarized or polar. I wouldn't say I was bipolar, but I was polar in that I would just go from hot to cold very quick. That's a sign typically of having ambition and lack of self-control. And I did not have self-control, and I had ambition. So mindset number 14. Look in the mirror every morning, and every morning say, I'm happy, healthy, whole, blessed, and successful 10 times. Say it. I'm happy, healthy, whole, blessed, and successful 10 times. I am happy, healthy, whole, blessed, and successful 10 times. And before you question me and you say, that's a bunch of crap, self-talk is a bunch of crap, I don't believe you, that's a bunch of crap, you're not a clinical psychologist, you don't have the authority to say that on a radio show. I don't trust you. I would encourage you to look up Psychology Today and type in the power of self-talk. And to make it easy for you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on the show notes for today. I'm going to put that on the show notes, and that way you guys can see that this is an actual thing, the power of self-talk. And again, I'm going to give you time to go ahead and Google that real quick, the power of self-talk. Because someone says, they're saying to themselves, you know what? You might be good at business, but you don't have the power to speak psychology. Okay, so because I know facts about psychology, but I'm not a psychologist. Does that make the facts irrelevant now? So forget that I'm delivering it to you. The power of self-talk, working to overwrite the negative voice with positive truth. This is what it says. Each of us has a set of messages that play over and over in our minds. This internal dialogue or personal commentary frames our reactions to life and its circumstances. One of the ways to recognize, promote, and sustain optimism, hope, and joy is to intentionally fill our thoughts with positive self-talk.
Yep.
Too often, the pattern of self-talk we've developed is negative.
Preach.
We remember the negative things we were told as children by our parents, siblings, and teachers. We remember the negative reactions from other children that dismissed how we felt about alternatives. So let me tell you a story about somebody who actually stuttered as a kid and was looking for a friend. So this kid used to stutter. And when people would meet the kid, they would say, "What's your name?" And this kid would say, Clayton, because I had a hard time saying my name. And all I wanted was somebody to not make fun of me. And the Christian kids made fun of me. Oh, yes, they did, because they were kids. And one kid said, "You should come over to my house." And that kid sexually abused me over and over and over again. Did you know that, Thrive Nation? It happened over and over and over and over again. And it took me until I was 26, 27 years old to get to a place where I could trust anybody. So it makes me a phenomenal manager because I don't trust anybody. And Steve, you see that as a manager. I don't trust anybody.
Right.
So I get a lot of stuff done.
Yeah.
But it made it where I literally am afraid of other people. Here's the definition of an introvert versus an extrovert. Introverts get recharged when they're by themselves. They feel like more together. So people have asked me, "Hey, when you record the radio show, do you prefer to do it by yourself?" I would say, yes, 100% of the time, because it's more predictable. I show up on time. I do what I'm supposed to do. It's not stressful. What's more stressful to me is being around other people. But I've had to learn, because I wanted to grow my business in my life and be a good father and be a good dad, that just because an a-hole who lived in a cul-de-sac nearby used to sexually assault me consistently, then I went to his father and I said, "Hey, Mr. Such and Such," and I'm not going to disparage the kid. I'm not going to mention his name on the radio. You know why? Because kids make bad decisions. And maybe he was just curious or stupid, or I don't know. But I went to his dad, and his dad says, I remember this. I'll never forget this, because I was like in second grade. He said, "You caused this. You caused this. It's your fault. Your fault." And the only reason he did this is because you're a pervert. He said to me, "I'm a pervert." And so I wore that in my mind as like there's probably something wrong with me that's perverse. I looked up the word perverted. I mean, if you ever looked up words, sometimes words have power. And sometimes you hear the word and you say, what does it mean to be perverted? It's somebody who is corrupting something and not doing it the way it was originally intended to be used, right? And so I began like this very like antisocial mind. I would draw cartoons for hours. I'd like to stay in rooms if I could. I never wanted to go to church camp. Steve, you know why I didn't want to go to church camp?
Why?
Because I was worried about the other kids there.
Yeah.
Because what happened to me, I'm like, I don't want to go there.
Right.
So even as an adult today, people are like, "Hey, we should go camping. We should hang out." I'm going, no, I don't. And because we have cameras in all of our offices and we record our calls. Steve, when you put up calls in your office, when you put up cameras in your office and you start recording your calls, do you not begin to discover the bad things people say about you when you're not present?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, how
people forget that everything's recorded.
They'll literally be on camera going, "My boss is such a freaking a-hole. Hey, boss, what's going on?" I mean, and they forget they're being recorded.
Yeah.
So this mindset I want to make sure that I teach you is you got to set a 30-day goal to look in the mirror every morning and to begin to say positive things over yourself. You have to do it. You have to begin to say positive things about yourself on a daily basis. If you don't do that, you will lose. Mindset number 15. It's not so much about making others believe in you as it is making your subconscious mind a believer. You've got to become a believer in you before other people can believe in you.
Yep.
And I promise you, you have the capacity to do that. Stay tuned. We're talking about becoming a source of wisdom right here on the Thrivetime Show on your radio.
3, 2, 1, boom! Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. Presenting the world's only business school without the BS. With optometrist and entrepreneur Dr. Robert Zellner and USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark. Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Yes, sir. It's Z and Clay, broadcasting from the box in the 918. Business school in the topic today. Check the syllabus, it's getting you paid. Making the business boom is what we do. You can do it, let us show you. You're the Thrive Nation. Welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, sent here on a mission to get you into a great financial position. And right now, I can tell you this. If I could capture this smell and put it on the radio, we would have many more listeners. It's incredible. We've got pinion wood burning. We've got grillables out there burning. It's just it's a great smell.
There's 3 fires that I counted last going on right now. The fire pit, the chimney, and the fireplace.
Yes.
Could it be any better?
It could not. Now, we have a question from a Thriver that was emailed to us. So this is from a Thriver in Nashville, Tennessee, who's a doctor. And he writes, I'm grinding hard, but how do I know if I'm close to a breakthrough? Well, I've got a lot of things I want to share with you, but I want to make sure that all the listeners know every time we do this broadcast, every time we do this podcast, my goal is to help coach you up and to not talk down to you, to help lift you up, to help advocate, to help you get to where you want to go. And with that being said, here we go. In order to be successful, you've got to develop the Stoic mindset. Well, what does it mean to be Stoic? Stoicism, we could do entire other shows about the origins of Stoicism, but the point is it's the endurance of pain or hardship without a display of feelings and without complaint. Another way to look at it from the Judeo-Christian mindset, from a book called The Bible. Matthew 5:10 reads here, Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. I'll repeat. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. What does that mean? It means that you probably will grind your entire life. The goal is to get to a sustainable grind, because the word promotion equals problems. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you're Dr. Robert Zellner, and you have multiple businesses, or you're Lee Cockrell, the former executive vice president of Walt Disney World Resorts, or you're myself, you own multiple companies. Let's just say under any of those circumstances, do you think that the proportion of problems goes down as we grow the business? I mean, Chip, does that seem logical that as an example, we'll just do elephant in the room as our men's grooming lounge as an example. We are cutting thousands of haircuts per week. At least every couple weeks, we're cutting thousands of haircuts.
Absolutely.
When we cut hair, what is a percentage of haircuts do you think it seems likely? Luke Owens here at the Hub Gym, you're a special guest. You're not a hair professional, but if we're cutting hair for 1,000 people, what percentage of the time do you think that it's likely that we would mess up?
At least 10%, I would say.
Okay. Now, let's say that you, for just so the Thrivers out there know, we shoot to be a 2 to 3% air rate, which means out of every 100 haircuts we do, about 2 to 3 is about the lowest acceptable normal
which
that we try to drive for.
About 20 to 30 a week if you're cutting 1,000 miles.
Yeah. So I want to share with you. I'm going to go on Facebook because I wanted to get myself worked up and get myself distracted. No, I want to read for the Thrivers out there the actual commentary. So let me pull this up. Give me just 1 second. I'm pulling it up. Okay, elephant in the room. As of the time of this recording, we have 384 Facebook reviews that I know of here. And this isn't total, but this is just recent reviews. Now, if you look at those reviews, as the company grows, we get more and more reviews, both good reviews and bad reviews. So why don't I just pull it up and then go through the treasure trove of reviews. Now, if you look at the most recent reviews, Scott Blosser writes, love this place. Go and see Janet at BA. She is money.
Yeah, Scott.
Michael Guyton writes, Mandy cuts my hair and does a perfect job every time. Highly recommend. Mike King writes, Mandy did a fantastic job at the downtown location. Justin writes, love this place. Megan was an excellent stylist. These are ones in the last hour. And we go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But here's the deal. Once a month, we ask our customers. So once a month, we make a push to gather sincere reviews from our actual customers, right? That's what we would do. You know, again, once a month, we make a sincere push for that. We don't do it every single day. So what happens is, what do you think what happens, Chup, on the days that we don't, or the weeks we're not making a consistent push to get great feedback?
I know what happens.
What happens,
The
Chup?
squeaky wheel, rears its ugly head, the bad reviews. Because the only people with enough energy, if you're not out there actively trying to build Google reviews, the only people taking the time to review your business are going to be upset for whatever reason.
So anyway, Philip goes on here and begins to write what appears to be probably a long book. I mean, good job, Philip. Way to start
a novella.
It's nice that he started to write a long-form book, and the first 2 pages of it were devoted to us. I mean, that's actually more content than the average adult writes in a year.
True.
To write 2 solid paragraphs, I mean, that really shows
SEO,
some dedication. Thank you for the SEO. So the search engine optimization. Chup is joking because he's a search engine nerd, but whoever has the most content gets to be top in Google. And so all I'm saying is we're getting more bad feedback, not as a percentage. So we're not getting more as a percentage. We're still getting about 2 out of 100 people whose haircuts we mess up, but now there are thousands of customers. So we're getting more complaints. So if the goal is to be promoted and to eventually get to a place where you don't have problems, then that is a disingenuous goal. It's not possible. So what I would say, if you're listening out there and you say, am I close to my breakthrough? One, you have to understand that stoicism is the only thing that I can possibly encourage you to do that is sincere. You must embrace the concept that you must endure pain and hardship without a display of feelings and without complaint. Because Matthew 5:10 from the Bible instructs you that when you are righteous, you will be persecuted. That's just what happens. So if you say, well, I don't agree with that specific verse, you took that out of context because you're just a context taker-outer. Okay, so this is, I'll give you an example. Jesus was killed at the age of 33. That's the same number that Jose Canseco wore when he played professional baseball for the Oakland Athletics. So this is, we have 12 apostles that we know of, right? We have 12 apostles. Now let me just fire off for you how they all died. Simon, a.k.a. Peter, was crucified upside down. Well, at least he got off easy there. Andrew was tied rather than nailed to a cross, so the suffering would take longer. James was beheaded by the Romans. John got away lucky. He peacefully passed away and was the only apostle that didn't die a violent death. Well, good job, John.
1 out of 12.
Philip was scourged and then thrown into prison and crucified. Bartholomew was beat by people, and then they crucified him. Thomas was killed by a spear. Matthew was stabbed in the back. James was beaten and then stoned before being killed by being hit in the head with a club. Thaddeus was crucified. And then we just go on and on. So what am I saying? I'm saying that the apostles, the very people that set the example of what you're supposed to be like to drop everything and follow Christ, they were persecuted, which is why in the Bible it doesn't promise that if you serve God, your life will be easy. I don't know where people get that message. I don't know where people get that. I hear Judeo-Christians all the time. Well, I've turned from my wicked ways and I followed Christ and I don't understand why I'm having problems. Because it says specifically in examples, it shows you that of the 12 apostles, 11 died in a not so positive way. And the very leader of the Christian movement, Christ, he died at the age of 33 of a violent death. And you might say, get off the religious examples. Okay, fine. Fred Smith. This is the guy who came up with FedEx. Chup, can you read us the Fred Smith story?
Yeah, so Fred Smith, he first came up with the idea to build FedEx in 1962. 1962, while attending Yale University. Yet, it took him until 1971 to actually start the company. Last I checked, that's 9 years, and the company did not make a profit until 1975.
That's just if you want to do math, because you're thinking about from 1962 to 1975. It's probably because he's not as good of an entrepreneur as I am.
or maybe Jeff Bezos. Maybe
let's do Jeff Bezos because he probably is not as big of a screw up as the founder of FedEx.
Yeah, come on, Fred. Amazon.com was started by Sir Jeff Bezos in 1994 out of his garage. In 1999, Luke, he lost $719 million.
That seems like a lot of money if you round it up. I mean, if you round it up, it seems like a lot of money.
It's like $720 million if you round up.
Oh, my gosh.
And then, so it took Jeff 9 years to turn a profit in 2003.
These sound like really positive stories.
Yeah,
Continue reading before bedtime, Daddy.
Well, we got Ted Turner. Okay, Ted Turner purchased.
Never heard of him.
He purchased his first cable network in 1970.
Freaking weird.
Yet it took the man nearly a decade to launch his vision of CNN.
Yeah, it's freaking,
a decade.
Ted Turner was probably a freaking idiot. Read me someone else because right now you've been reading off idiots.
ESPN.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good company.
They can read people's brains.
You can read it. Read the ESPN.
ESPN
the
was
osmosis,
founded in 1978, yet the company did not make a profit until the mid-90s.
It's probably because they didn't have good management.
It's like 20 years.
Okay. Go on to the next one. These are all negative examples.
Tesla. We've heard of Tesla.
Oh, yeah, Tesla.
SpaceX, Elon Musk, right? Tesla. It was founded on June of 2003. Oh, by Martin Eberhard, is that right?
Yeah,
that right?
Eberhard. Either way, it was hard.
Yet it took Tesla over 10 years to turn a profit.
These are all people that obviously don't have their crap together.
You think those suck?
Okay.
This next one sucks.
Sure, yeah.
It took James Dyson 15 years to create his first dual cyclone vacuum cleaner, which did not hit stores until 1993. And he had to create 5,126 versions that failed before he actually created the prototype.
Chup, why don't you read off some entrepreneurs that actually we know? Because these other people are obscure, and we deserve to have higher quality, better entrepreneurs.
How about a little man by the name of, I don't know how little he was, but Thomas Edison. Have you heard of him, Luke?
Yes.
Good old Tommy Eddy. Tommy Eddy. So Thomas Edison created 10,000 failed experiments of the light bulb before
he was 5'10". He was 5'10", Chop.
Normal man.
He wasn't little. Screw off.
A normal man named Thomas Edison.
Okay.
I mean, come on. It is what it is. That's what it takes. Life is hard.
These are all not examples that apply. Could you read me another one? I'm trying to find one I can relate to.
Alex Ohanian. Anybody know about this guy?
Okay.
He founded Reddit. Okay, it started in 2005. Only a few people were using the platform, so they created fake accounts to create the look they had to get a bunch of traffic. So they're like out there just finding ways to go, right, to build it, to make it look like they're super busy. And so using their bogus accounts, they work to create the overall tonality and the direction of the discussions that were on the website.
He faked accounts because no one was on his website.
Right.
Chup, give us another example. I still am not believing that it takes a long time to build success. I want to have success in like a month or two. I'd like it if I got to have big success in like a year. I don't like the idea of incrementally getting better. I don't like the idea of Kaizen. You know, the Japanese philosophy of continual improvement.
Are you into this, Luke? It kind of matches working out. It kind of makes me think of that whole mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I get the question all the time, like, how did you get arms like that or this or whatever? And people think that it just happened overnight. It was through hard work and diligence, consistency, that produces those results. And Clay, you're looking for an example, but you and Z give them all the time of your story. You know, a person might look at where you're at in your life and say, wouldn't that be nice? I hate that statement. You guys went through the mud, you did the work, and you continue to do the work. Just because you're successful, you didn't stop.
Now, if you are listening to the show right now and you're asking the question, how long does it take to be successful? If you're one of our business coach clients, on average, it takes about 18 to 24 months to completely flip a business and to turn it around and to get it into a positive zone. So when we come back, I want to get Luke Owen's take on the turnaround we've been doing at the Hub Gym, as well as I'd like to get Eric Chupp's take on some of the business coaching clients that he's worked with directly to improve their businesses. And then we'll read off about more entrepreneurial pioneers that struggled for decades. Stay tuned.
Do you need help growing your business? Take the challenge. The Thrivetime Business Coach Program will beat any marketing firm's prices by 50%. Schedule your free consultation today at thrivetimeshow.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrive Time Show on your radio. We're breaking down the Success Mindset 101, the Stoic mindset needed to win. Stoicism, which I'll get into like the origins of Stoicism on a future show and where it came from and who believes in Stoicism. And I'll just say this. I've had the opportunity to sit down and meet billionaires with a B and many millionaires. And I can tell you that they almost all embrace Stoicism, which is the endurance of pain or hardship without a display of feelings or without complaint. As an example, if you are a Judeo-Christian and you spend way too much time watching the prosperity message, you may believe that if you are a Christian, you will not endure pain. However, if you actually read the Bible, I don't read the Bible. I just watch motivational Christian speakers because I don't watch I don't read the Bible. I mean, I'll watch motivational speakers, but I don't watch reading the actual Bible. I mean, who would actually read that old book? I just watch the motivational speakers. Well, in the Bible, Matthew 5:10, it's an old book. It reads, "Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Well, I don't like that story at all. That doesn't seem very nice. Well, then you think about this for a second. You say, okay, well, I would like examples of maybe, the apostles. Could we start there? Well, okay, I would love to hear about the apostles. I'm sure, didn't they all live wonderful, prosperous lives? And they all had a lot of income because they all named it and claimed it. They all just had success. They all binded the demons, right? I mean, they called Richard Roberts, 1-800, he'll send you a prayer cloth, and boom, money cometh to you. You're right. If by money cometh you mean they all died a horrible death with the exception of John. Simon, a.k.a. Peter, was crucified upside down. Andrew was not nailed to a cross. He was tied to a cross so he would suffer longer. James was beheaded. John he passed away peacefully. Good job, John. Philip was scourged and then thrown into prison. Bartholomew was beat by people and then he was crucified. Well, at least that sounds nicer though, as opposed to being crucified upside down.
He was probably unconscious.
Come on, man. All these people died a horrible death, and then Jesus Christ himself died at the age of 33. Well, that was a long time for people back then because a lot of them died of polio. Come on. I'm just saying is everybody who is a devout follower of Christ died in a painful way with an exception of one. So then you think about business owners and you say, well, if it's going to take, James Dyson, who made the Dyson vacuum, 5,126 versions of his invention to come up with a vacuum that worked. If it took Thomas Edison 10,000 failed experiments to come up with one that worked. If it took Jeff freaking Bezos 9 years to make Amazon work. If it took 11 years, actually 13 years to make FedEx work. If it took Ted Turner over a decade to make it work. And if it took ESPN over 15 years to make it work, then what hope do I have? Because I was just looking and I realized it took Tesla 10 years to make it work. I'll tell you. This is the hope you have. It takes you about 18 months to take a typical small business and make it profitable and turn it around if you're in the toilet, okay? Or if you're in a growth phase, but you want to have fast growth, rapid growth. So here are the 3 things you have to do if you want to make your business grow, okay? Step number 1 is you have got to systemize what works. You have to document what works, Chuck. You have to document what works. All right? Step 1, document what works. So how do you know what works? Well, you actually have to test. So let's go to the Hub Gym, Dateline, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, downtown Oklahoma, downtown Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And so the Hub Gym, Luke, how long has Eric Chubb worked with you in the Thrive program?
We are at about a year now.
Yeah.
At about a year, and I would say we're about to a level where we're getting to a few goal points in terms of numbers of members that will allow you to start to finally pay yourself what you're worth after how many years had you been running your business before we ran into you?
Almost 12 years, and that was one of the things that I had to learn is that I could not operate on the exhaustion from 12 years of hitting my head against a wall. And had to come with renewed vision after starting to work with you guys.
So how did you reconnect with us? How did that occur?
I came to the conference.
How did you hear about the conference?
A friend of mine attended it and said, "Hey man, you need to go there." And I thought, man, this is going to be another thing. And I got there, and it wasn't at all.
So it turned out not to be a scam.
Scam.
So, Chup, what have been some of the big breakthroughs you've had at the Hub from your perspective as a coach?
Oh my
that
gosh.
we've found that have worked. Just give me like 2 or 3 that you go, okay, that worked to generate more customers.
Yeah, well, basically, I'll take it back to that very first time that I met with Luke after the conference. By the end of the meeting, I said, I think you asked me a question of like, what do you want to get out of this? What do you want to get out of this if I decide to join with the program? And I said, I want to get that look off your face, man. Because it wasn't like a scowl, but it was like an intense, the stuff is not going right, and I'm going to do whatever the heck it takes to get it going right.
And I'm not saying as a listener that I don't care about Luke's emotional state.
Right.
But I want to know because obviously he's a happier camper.
Yeah.
Camper.
So
he's
how
on the show, we can see that, but it's a radio show, so it's hard to.
Exactly.
But what did you do differently?
We started exactly what you just said, documenting systems. And the main thing we started doing was tracking the systems we had in place, tracking the advertisements. Are we getting leads? Are we following up with those leads?
So here's an example of stuff that I've seen personally that you guys have done at the Hub Gym. One is you guys have started an aggressive online reputation management campaign, specific step-by-steps to help you guys come up top in Google and to have your real customers write you real reviews.
Right.
So now if you type in Broken Arrow Gyms, you're top in Google or near the top in Google.
That's right.
That's one. 2, you've created a no-brainer advertisement that generates leads through online advertisement.
Yep.
3, you have a sales script that your team is using, right? So you've documented those systems.
Exactly.
Now, step 2 is holding the team accountable to the systems.
Oh, boy.
And that part is tougher. But we are in the process of doing that. The process, as the Canadians say, holding the team accountable to doing what works. Chup, why is that tough for most clients to hold their team accountable? Once you know what works, why is it hard to hold the team accountable?
You got to have to fire some folks.
Well, and you have to be willing to be held accountable yourself.
True. Step 1.
So what has been the hardest part for you there, Luke, of holding the team accountable?
Well, it's adopting that idea of stoicism, right? I cared more about these people's emotional state than I cared about my business. Period.
So that's a ticket to failure.
So step 1, though, you document the systems that work. Step 2, you have to hold the team accountable to what works. And now 3, and this is the fun part, you have to pay yourself first. The profit first. Right. And you pay yourself first. And so what happens is, as the company grows, you need to pay yourself first. You cannot live below the poverty line and underpay yourself in hopes that someday you'll eventually pay yourself. You have to begin to pay yourself what you're worth because you paid yourself 0 for a long time if you're a business owner. Chup.
If you're a listener, then listen up to what the man is saying right now. I see this time after time after time. And you have to pay yourself.
Time after time.
Exactly. It's just, you're humble, you're a grinder, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. That's what you do. That's your mindset. But guess what? You got to eat food. You got to have a place to live. If you got a family, you got to provide. So you got to pay yourself first. And then work it into the budget. Don't be a hog, right? Don't be a hog and take all of the reserve from the company. But you have to pay yourself something. That way, once the company is making money, the system's already built to pay you.
Now, on the next segment, we're going to talk about systemizing it, basically nailing it before you scale it. You must systemize and nail it before you scale it. All right, folks, if you're out there today and you've ever wanted to start a company, it requires a lot of work to start a company. But the purpose or the goal that I find that a lot of people have for starting a company is they want to chase or create, they want to find time freedom and financial freedom. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs find that to be elusive or almost impossible. And it's because they don't build a business model that allows them to create both time and financial freedom. And so if you go to many of the companies that I own or I'm involved in or I'm a minority partner in or I'm a non-equity partner deal with, you'll very rarely find me at the companies. And people say, well, how is it possible that you can grow these companies and grow them successfully without being there all the time? Well, it's because I build systems that are scalable. And today's guest is somebody we've had the pleasure of working with the past 3 years to really help him refine and scale his company. And he's now providing a franchise opportunity for you, if you're listening today, if you'd like to earn time and financial freedom as an entrepreneur, but you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You know, if you want to achieve time and financial freedom, but you don't want to have to recreate every checklist or start from the very beginning and create every logo and every print piece and every checklist and every sales script and every process. Today's guest is somebody who's built all those systems. He's refined his systems. He's opened up multiple locations, and now he's franchising his company. And without any further ado, Gabe Salinas with Window Ninjas. Welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
I am wonderful, Clay. Thanks for having me today.
And Gabe, just a quick housekeeping note so people know that you are not a hologram. How long have you and I known each other, approximately?
Approximately 3.5 years.
Okay, yeah, and we've had the opportunity to serve you and work with you, and your company, Window Ninjas, has been around for about how long, approximately, sir?
About 5 years.
5 years, yeah. And so, we've worked together to help you scale the company, and now you're franchising it. So tell everybody out there, what are you doing today? Like, what's on your personal schedule today?
Well, today I am doing an interview with you at 12 o'clock, which was in my calendar. I am also sitting in my car enjoying my time with you, while I'm also enjoying my time with my son while he's out on the field playing lacrosse. As soon as we get finished up here, I'm going to continue watching him, spend my day with him, and then I got some other technical duties that I need to take care of. It's going to require maybe an hour or two of my day, and then I think I'm going to go hang out poolside.
What percentage of your day will be spent cleaning windows? Because you have a window cleaning company. What percentage of your day will you spend actually cleaning windows?
That would be 0.
Today we're recording this on a Saturday. What about Friday? What percentage of your Friday did you spend cleaning windows?
0.
Well, let's skip ahead. Let's go to Tuesday. Well, on Tuesday was a busy day in the window cleaning business. Your business was booming. It's a real thing. Your company's growing. You're getting leads. Leads are coming in. People are finding you online. You're cleaning their windows. Word of mouth is at an all-time high. Your Google leads are at an all-time high. Things are going good. What percentage of the day did you answer the phone and handle the scheduling for the window cleaning?
That would be 0, Clay.
That's what I'm talking about. So you've built systems and processes that have allowed you to achieve financial freedom and time freedom. Tell us about the franchises. If I'm listening right now and I buy a Window Ninjas franchise from you, what kind of systems do you provide? And I'm not looking for like a line item specific list, but kind of walk me through what kind of systems and back-end support you're going to provide.
Well, that's a great question, Clay. And we've worked really hard over the past 3.5 years to build a complete system all the way from marketing to sales, where our call center answers all the phone calls for all locations, schedules all of the jobs. We've built accounting systems so that our people get paid, our sales people get paid, every employee gets paid, the bills for the building get paid, all aspects of accounting is covered. And like I said, and going back to marketing, we've even scaled our marketing system so that we take the marketing out of each individual location's hands. All our individual locations have to do is be great at cleaning windows, be great at interacting with clients, and be great in dealing with employees on a day-to-day level. We handle everything else.
So again, if you're listening out there today and you say, I want to achieve financial freedom and time freedom, let me walk you through the steps you have to take. If you kind of want to reinvent the wheel, this is what you do. Step one, you find a problem that people have. So in your case, people have windows that need to be cleaned. That's the problem. The second step is you have to solve the problem. You guys have the systems and processes in place to clean windows at a professional level. The third is at some point, somebody has to sell something. A lot of entrepreneurs like to avoid that part, but somebody has to sell something to somebody at some point for the business to be viable. And then step 4, you have to nail it and scale it. So let's kind of get into what are the problems that you guys solve at windowninjas.com?
Well, the majority of our clients are residential or commercial-based clients. Really. So they're either having a problem at their house with dirty windows, or a house that's dirty, or their gutters are filled with leaves and other debris and they need to be cleaned out. Or we've got commercial facility maintenance managers that are overseeing large apartment complexes, high-rise buildings, things of that nature. And those buildings inevitably get dirty as well. Buildings need to be power washed, windows need to be cleaned, things of that nature. So we're solving a lot of the exterior cleaning and maintenance problems that we find for both residential and commercial clientele.
And then as far as selling it, when the phone rings, if I buy a franchise from you today, if I go to windowninjas.com and I buy a franchise from you, who answers the phone for me? When a potential customer reaches out, whether it be a commercial client or a residential client, who actually answers the phone?
That's a great question, Clay. We have an in-house call center. So at our corporate office in Wilmington, North Carolina, we house roughly 10 to 12 sales staff members. And each one of those sales staff members is trained and educated on how to answer the phone properly, utilizing a script, how to schedule that job utilizing our proprietary scheduling software system, and scheduling those jobs, making sure our team members are knowing where they're supposed to be as far as actually doing. Any phone call that comes in our office comes into the call center, so that individual locations don't have to worry about answering the phone or dealing with any of that sales stuff at all.
Okay, so you answer the phone, as you do handle the scheduling, you handle the marketing. What does the local owner have to do if somebody buys a franchise from you? How much does it cost, and what is expected of the local owner? Because somebody at some point has to clean windows. How does that work?
Yeah, great question. So the initial franchise fee is roughly $49,500 is what it costs to buy into the Window Ninja system. And then you have to buy equipment, you have to buy a truck, all of the tools and equipment needed to be able to perform the services that we do. You're looking anywhere from about $40,000 to $50,000 for vehicles and equipment, whether you buy new or used equipment, things of that nature. So all in, you could be spending somewhere between $95,000 and $105,000 to get in, including the franchise fee. And what that gives the franchisee is the opportunity to basically have our staff help them build their business on a day-to-day level. The typical franchisee owner is going to wake up, he's going to look at his calendar, he's going to make sure that his employees know what their calendar is as far as the jobs on the schedule. He's going to educate and train his employees, interact with those guys, make sure they're out there in the field doing their jobs as supposed to be. They get to drive around and go do quotes, see amazing, great properties, interact with amazing, great people. And at the end of the day, man, they can count their money and their blessings and wipe their hands and go off and do whatever it is, the other fun things that they want to do. And then we also have a platform, Clay, where we have some owners who like to be what's called somewhat absentee, where they will hire a manager to operate their facility for them, which is another easy plan. The manager basically takes over the roles of interacting with the service technicians and the maintenance employees and oversees that operations. And it gives the individual operation owner the more time and the financial freedom that they were looking for. Some people want more time and freedom, and so we can give them that. Others want to be in the nitty gritty and inside the business working, and we give them that opportunity as well.
So the website, what's the website I need to go to right now? I'm going to pull it up on the screen. What's the website I need to go to right now to learn more about Window Ninjas?
Okay, Clay, pull up windowninjas.com.
Okay, going to windowninjas.com. Got it. Okay.
JAS.com.
Okay, so I've got it pulled up. And then when I go there, what do I need to do if I want to schedule a free consultation with you to learn more about the opportunity?
There's a franchise button on the website.
Got it.
They can click on that,
yep,
and it'll take them to a form. They can fill that form out, and that form is going to come over to me and my sales staff. And what we'll do is we'll set up a consultation phone call with that individual, and I will then reach out to them and make a phone call, and we will start the conversation.
Sir, you have the floor here. Final 60 seconds. What's the thing you want to share with all the listeners out there that are contemplating reaching out right now and maybe investing a few minutes of their time to see if it's a good fit?
Okay. Yeah. If you don't want to reinvent the wheel and you want to be successful, the proven path and the easiest path to success is franchising. And here at Window Ninjas, we have a proven path of success for all of our locations and anybody new coming into our system. I would highly recommend reaching out to me and my team over here at Window Ninjas, and let's start a conversation about how we can benefit you and provide you a little bit more time freedom and financial freedom from the life that you currently have now.
I'm taking notes on the show notes here for people out there so they can find it in the description. What's that website one more time?
Windowninjas.com.
Okay, I recognize you have a busy day here filled with lacrosse viewing, spending time with your wife and family, and not cleaning windows. So I'm going to let you get back to it. Thanks for carving out time for us.
Thanks, Clay. It's good to see you. Have a great day.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listening and ranking there with Google.
And also, we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrivetime Show.
2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.